Where are the low-value men?
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. If you can believe that, you can believe that, you can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but says with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide, he's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whisper star. Low value mail, low value mail at 9 o'clock. Where truth and fiction take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Welcome back, Scroats, to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail on this Tuesday, actually, November 18th, 2025, the year of our Lord. It's episode number 166, and we're doing open lines all night. No guest. I stand before you a shattered man. My own doing, though. It was, if you're at Skankfest this weekend in New Orleans, it was a fun time. Lots of you came and said, what's up? I got to meet little Dan in the flesh. We had a good time. And I met a lot of you, actually. There was a bunch of you who were out in New Orleans. So what's up? But damn, that shit is taking a toll on me. I'm not going to lie. But we're back. We're back. I apologize that we're doing this episode on a Tuesday instead of our normal time on Monday, much to my consternation. But my flight got delayed 6 times yesterday. So is what it is. Open lines all night. Anything you want to talk about? Whatever you want to talk about. There's a lot going on. You want to talk about conspiracies that we haven't touched on at some point? I don't know. There's a lot going on. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since the last episode. Apologies for that as well. Not going great. Guys, I'm telling you, when I started doing this show, I never thought, yeah, a live show, it's a good idea. Especially doing stand-up and stuff, especially on a Monday, because a lot of times Mondays, when you do stand-up, those are travel days. Didn't think about it. Yet here we are. Obviously, no bathhouse tonight. I'm doing this instead. I figured that was the move. Also, no bathhouse next week either, because I'm going to be out of town. And I'm sure I could have moved some things around to make my life more difficult to bring you an episode of the bathhouse, but I don't want to do that, nor is there any good reason to do so. So, before we get started, if you want to support the show, like the stream, share it with a friend, leave a comment, or you can sign up, patreon.com/lowvaluemail. $5 a month. I think it's about 20 shekels. That's the exchange rate right now. You get access to a fun group chat, which is mostly just anti-Semitic memes from Slav. But it's not only anti-Semitic memes. There's other things in there. And you get ad-free audio. Well, that's about it. Sorry, I am not 100% right now. I tried to sleep today, and I didn't sleep all weekend at all. I did not sleep very much at all weekend. So, am I phoning it in a little bit tonight? Probably, but we're here. That's important. I actually met some people at Skankfest, funny enough, because I'm like, I don't even want your money. Just share the show. And then I literally had 3 people come up to me and goes, hey, man, love low value mail, but I have a normal life. I can't share this with anybody. I go, fucking fantastic. That is just great news. Great news, because, YouTube's not doing us any favors. And yeah, so sign up for the Patreon, or don't. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care. Also, I know, because I'm always trying to improve this show. It's not working, but I do spend a lot of time thinking about this show and how I can improve upon it. I've tried so many things for some additional content for the Patreon. None of them have ever been particularly good or made people want to sign up. But if you ever have an idea for something, shoot it over. There's no bad ideas. Oh, well, no, there are bad ideas. All the ones I've had so far. But you might have a good one. Anyways, let's get to it. This is the story. Oh, we have a super chat from Pablo. Danny, did your support for Trump grow after the emails between him and Mr. Clinton talking about giving each other oral? A little sloppy toppy from the Don. I don't think they were both blowing each other. I thought it was Trump blowing Bill Clinton like some sort of politics hazing ritual, which, you know, it's pretty common in sports, right? Where everybody will just haze each other. You know, it's very common in sports. Maybe that's just what it is. I don't know, but we'll get to that. Thank you for the super chat. They're always appreciated. But yeah, so the Epstein Files, I don't know if you remember the last time we talked about this, where I was like, conspiracies are fucking stupid. I'm starting to think that this whole shit is just dumb, fake and gay, as the kids say. And I promised myself I wouldn't talk about this anymore. It seemed pointless, but here we are, back center stage. There was this huge, as you all know, some of you are like, what is Pablo talking about? Last week, there was a massive email dump that was released. Massive. There was all sorts of malarkey going on there. House of Representatives voted today 427-1 to release everything they have on Epstein. I don't know what that is going to entail. Who knows? It now heads to the Senate, which I believe they're saying is going right through. Then it goes to Trump's desk where he signs it. And after that, apparently the DOJ has 30 days to release everything, which means we might get everything. And for those of you listeners, massive air quotes, everything around Christmas, which that'll be some fun non-political conversations at the Christmas table with all the family. Thankfully, I'm Jewish, so I won't have to deal with that. But I'm sure it'll be a fun time for all of you. And now, I don't know how you all feel about this, but I'm not getting my hopes up here. I just can't allow myself to get my hopes up about this. And I don't think there's any good reason to get my hopes up. Maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I'm demoralized, which is what probably they want at this point. This is where they want me. This is the state that those lizard people government officials want me in, is just a demoralized man where I go, you know what? I'm just going to watch some sports. Sports never fucking jerks me around like this, although that's not true either. But it's hard for me to believe we're getting much out of this. Emails that came out, certainly interesting. Best one, as Pablo alluded to, President Donald Trump, current President Donald Trump, sucking off former President Bill Clinton. Give him an old blowy to Bill Clinton. I mean, we know the guy likes to get his fucking willy wet. They don't call him Slick Willie for nothing. It wasn't like, it didn't quite say that. It said blowing Bubba, I think was the term they used. Bubba being what some people say is Bill Clinton's nickname, apparently. Someone came out and they're like, yeah, I was not it. Can we just get Bill Clinton perp walked already? That would put a lot of this just kind of, it would be cathartic for us to all see this wasn't all pointless. But like I said several months ago, when I said this is all pointless, do you really think you're going to get to see Bill Clinton perp walked? If we see it, I'll say this right now, I'm going to go full John McAfee. I will eat my dick on live television. I will cut it off and I will eat it on live TV obviously, I guess it'll be on YouTube, but that's what I would do. But it's not going to happen. I mean, it would be great. I don't know what would happen to this country if it just comes out and they're like, yeah, it's true. Donald Trump, when he was just a private citizen, blew then President Bill Clinton. Maybe there's a video. Maybe we get Wouldn't that be something, huh? We get a video. Maybe it's kicking around somewhere of just Trump just going to town on Bill Clinton. It would be a tough one for MAGA to swallow, huh? No pun intended. And look, we all know even if Trump did suck off Bill Clinton, he is spitting. I mean, the guy's not gay. He loves models and shit. He's not gay. I mean, if he had to do it for some sort of political initiation ritual, definitely he's excusing himself to go spit that out. There's just so much about this that is just so questionable to me. The fact that the support for this is now bipartisan is probably how you know we ain't getting jack fucking squat. Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, saying the release will jeopardize national security. Jeopardize it already. Let's go. We're waiting. We're waiting for you to jeopardize national security. What do we care? Nobody, no regular person gives a shit about national security. We want you to jeopardize that shit. Let's just get it all out in the open. There was Representative Stacey Plaskett from the Virgin Islands. My Canadian ass didn't even know the Virgin Islands had any representation. I thought it was like Puerto Rico. I guess they do have one, right? But they just don't have any actual voting power. I don't know. It's the same thing. She was texting with Jeffrey Epstein in 2019 during a hearing. Not a great look. She says she was just taking a call from a constituent. At least that's what she's trying to claim, because Jeffrey Epstein was a resident of the Virgin Islands. Nice try. I'm sure a lot of people are going, yeah, totally normal. Just 2019. You're just like, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, he wants to get a fucking crosswalk put in. So he's just calling up his local member of Congress. Okay. All right. And also, what about the fact Trump went from saying this whole thing's stupid? Remember, he's just like, why are we even talking about this? There was that floods in Texas. Someone brought up, and he goes, why are you even bringing this up? Which is the most guilty shit in the world. Now he's just like, oh, yeah, everything should be released. Yeah, let's just get everything out in the open. Huge red flag. But again, after he signs this whatever, the DOJ has 30 days to just redact and likely destroy everything that could, Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, is essentially saying that's what they're going to do, is they're just going to take this 30 days and just destroy anything that implicates the Republicans, which at this point you would have to think, if stuff comes out and you go, it just doesn't implicate any Republicans, you go, all right, well then that's what they did, obviously. I do think back a lot. I don't know if you ever remember this interview. Trump did an interview when he was between presidencies, when Biden was president, where they brought up Epstein, and he was like, yeah, I think Epstein killed himself. That's what my feeling is on this. I think Epstein killed himself because, he had such a nice life, and then to go from, just living in a mansion and being a billionaire and flying private, and now you're stuck in this prison cell. He's like, that's what I think someone in that position would do, which is what I would say if I had the guy killed. Trump, there's a lot of things Trump has said where you go, that is what someone would say if they did have Jeffrey Epstein killed. But the guy killed himself, right? Isn't that where we're at? Kash Patel? Dan Bongino? Also, why can't, they're trotting out all these victims. Can the victims just come out and be like, here are the names of the people? Well, like, what specifically is the issue there? Is there lawsuits? Could they give them some sort of immunity? Just let us know. Just why can't they just tell us who these people are? And maybe there's a good reason that they don't, but seems like a good place to start. Just me? I don't know. Still can't believe I'm getting roped into talking about this shit. I feel as I'm talking about this, I go, you fuckers got me again. You knew I didn't want to talk about this stuff. And here I am talking about this stuff all over again, only for a month from now to being like, those fucking rascals got us, huh? They did it to us again. This is fool me 7 times, shame on me. This is where we're at. This is we're getting fooled so many. This shame on us, guys and gals. Just like, do you really think one politician is going to resign over this? One? I don't think so. I think this is, and you know what? I'm trying not to be too cynical about this, but this just does not seem like after all these years we go, oh, this is what it took is just the Democrats to be like, oh, we're releasing these emails. And now Trump's all of a sudden, yeah, just release them all. Release them all. Best case scenario, I think, is everybody gets implicated, both sides. And Americans just have to accept that most politicians are just power-hungry scumbag pedophiles. And we go, that's just what it is, guys. It's just how it is. It's how things are. And that's it. Which everybody kind of secretly knows anyway. So, I can't believe I'm talking about this again. So we'll see. And you know what? Let's hear what you have to think about this, okay? Let's see what you have to think about this. Nick Mullen says, here's a couple bucks, Yahib. Now wake up. Coins jingle. I didn't hear no coins jingle. That was Canadian dollars, too. You got some fucking nerve on you. Some real nerve on you to give me 5 Canadian dollars and be like, wake up. Drew Huntley says, blessed is Connor Dog, for he was a good boy. Connor Dog was a good boy. We just got a nice little painting commissioned of him, actually, that we're going to put up in our living room to remember the great and powerful Connor Dog. AH says, do you think Trump is using the list as leverage? Like Gates going back on climate change after meeting with Trump? Again, I can't remember what the exact number is, but I saw like he's mentioned in these emails a lot. Trump comes up in these a lot, you know, and I know Virginia, like originally they redacted Virginia Giuffre's name in the emails because she specifically said Trump didn't do anything bad. It is weird that she was working at Mar-a-Lago. Like, I guess maybe that's just, it's not that weird and just she was working and that's where Jeffrey Epstein was hanging around. There was that whole thing with the dogs. Trump is the only dog that hasn't barked yet. Surely Trump knows something. The guy's not stupid. And we all know that the guy was a notorious pussy hound. For him to, like, here's the thing. If it does come out somehow where we get everything and he's like, he just dodged this whole thing, what a lucky guy he is. Because everybody, his reputation was how much of a pussy hound he was. So if he somehow just dodged this all, good for him. Good for him. Poison 1553. Should we start a bet on Polymarket on files coming out? I'll put 1K on readable files by Christmas. I mean, again, readable files. The question is, how redacted are they? Are they going to say anything? Because when you say national security, someone like Mike Johnson, you go, oh, national security. This could, and you go, okay, well, then we have to redact everything. And it's just the fucking JFK files all over again, where there's nothing of any real substance. Howling Labubu, $5. Thanks, Howling Labubu. Drew Huntley says, Connor painting, can we see? It's not done yet, but I'll when it's in our home, I'll take a picture of it. I'll put it in the Patreon live chat for the Patreon scrotes. Sign up, $5 a month. I just want to talk about one more thing. I told you I'm phoning this one in. We're just gonna do open lines. We're gonna chat. My studio feels like about 100 degrees right now for some reason, which is one of the fun things about living in New York City. Is it's either freezing or boiling. There's no, you don't just get a nice temperature. It's just one or the other. But so Charlotte, North Carolina right now. I don't know if any of you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, or in North Carolina, period. But they have these ICE raids going on right now. And I saw something pretty interesting, and I'm just curious, because I know some of you probably have children. But so ICE is conducting removal raids throughout North Carolina right now. They're there, I believe, until Friday. Just this week, there's just a little quick in and out, just rounding up illegals, making good on Trump's deportation promises. Now, this has caused a lot of illegals to essentially go into hiding to avoid getting snagged, which I guess is what you would do. You just kind of keep a low profile until things settle down. Seems normal. But Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools, which I believe is just like the public school system in Charlotte, that's how I understand it, reported yesterday, would have been Monday, November 17th, that just over 28,000 students or 21% of all students were absent yesterday. The normal figure for absences is like 3%. It was 21% yesterday. It was like 28,100 students, something roughly like that. Now, it's possible these aren't all undocumented children. You know, maybe some percentage of the parents are undocumented. The kids were born in America. Maybe the parents are like worried that sending the kids to school would somehow lead to, you know, them being found out. I don't know, right? Regardless, even if you cut that in half, whatever, huge percentage of these students are not born in America. Now, if you extrapolate this across the country, I don't know if there's illegals literally in every major city in America. Probably there are, though. And I know this is not a completely accurate way to do this, but you could be looking at, if you take these numbers, you could be like, there might be 50, 70, maybe 100 million people in the country illegally, which is pretty fucking nuts. Charlotte spends $13,000 per year per student. So just for Charlotte, just for the city of Charlotte, and this is just for, I don't even think this includes high school. I believe this could include high school. I don't know. Don't call me that. That's $250 million a year minimum that taxpayers are essentially footing the bill. And that's one city in America. So curious, for those of you that have kids in this country, are the schools everywhere just full of illegals? Like if you have kids in elementary school, I'm sure some of you have kids, you pick up your kids, high school, like, is that just what it is? 1 out of every 5 kids in a public school system in this country are not American citizens? Like I knew this was a problem. I didn't realize it was this severe. I did not. All right. That's all I got. It's because I think Trump, when he was doing the phone lines are open, everybody. 1-888-949-2969. We have Gerard on the 1s and 2s answering your calls. And again, it's open lines. Anything you want to talk about. Nothing is off the table. Just don't be boring. But, wasn't Trump saying like 10 or 20 million people? Isn't that what he said? He was like, yeah, there's like 10 or 20 million people. It's seeming like it's a lot more than 10 or 20 million people. In 100, I mean, again, if there are 100 million people, like, how are you even meant to get rid of them? How would you do that? I got to take my sweater off. It's boiling. But how would you even do that? How would you get rid of, even if there are these huge hiring blitzes that they're doing, all that stuff, how do you get rid of 100 million people in this country? It's impossible. It is literally, it would take 20 years. And by then, they'll reproduce. There'll be more of them coming in. So I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. 100 million, maybe 100 million is high, but it's not good. It's not good. All right, we're going to take some calls. Before I do, like and subscribe to the channel. Again, if you're an audio listener, make sure to follow the podcast, especially on Spotify, because Spotify said that they'll show the podcast to more people if we get followers on there. So hit the follow button. Leave a review. If you want to share it on Twitter or Instagram, you can do that unless you're a huge fucking pussy, which turns out a bunch of you are. Turns out a bunch of you are huge pussies. You're like, oh no, I have a job. What will my friends and family think? Pathetic. Really pathetic. All right. Let's go to our first call of the night. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Brian. How are you?
Brian, what's up, man? Whoa. You in a wind tunnel?
No, a bad reception.
Oh, okay. No, maybe you're just breathing into the mic or something. I don't know. How's it going, Brian?
Okay. Yeah, it's all right. You were just talking about like the proportion of like illegals in schools and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from New Jersey. I used to work in a school about 10 or so years ago.
Okay.
There's there's all just different pockets of illegals here, obviously.
What was it like where you were working?
It was, I'd say, 80 to 90% That was 10 years ago. 90% in this one school district in New Jersey, all illegals.
I'm sorry. Did you just say 80 to 90% were illegal immigrants?
Yeah.
What?
It's Bound Brook, New Jersey. Look it up. That was 10 years ago. It's probably 100% at this point.
So what? No U.S. citizens live in this area, period? Like, I mean, surely, like, what if you're a U.S. citizen who lives, where do you send your kids to school? If you live in that town or whatever city?
Sorry, what'd you say, Danny?
No, I was just saying, like, if you're surely, like, the population of whatever the city is can't be 100%. There has to be some American-born people there.
Yeah, there's like a good side of town and a bad side of town.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the bad side of town?
were...
Yeah, the bad side of town's all illegals, and they all... Yeah, I guess they have to, you can't have them feral running around, so you have to send them to school. But so 80 to 90%. That is... Yes,
and then the 10% that were like a couple black kids and a couple white kids, the white kids were from, and the black kids were from the north, the good side of town. So their parents intentionally kept them in the school because they knew they would be the top of their class. So that's another weird
thing.
And they would,
what benefit do you get from being in the top of your elementary school? Like, is this high school or elementary school?
I mean, going through all of it. I was working in a middle school and an elementary school, that's how, they would just, the natural citizens would be, obviously they would do their homework, they would get good grades, and everyone else, I'd say that same percentage, about 80, 90% of the school, this is shared information with me, they would fail. None of them would do homework. There's no support system. So you
it's
just
basically
have this
daycare.
Class after class. Yeah, it's daycare year after year, since they would lose government funding to fund the schools, since the taxpayers can't support it. Basically, if they didn't push the entire grade ahead a year, then they lose state and government funding. So it's just this endless churn of just pushing everyone through the system. And, the couple legal citizens' children that were in the school would, be top of the class, and everyone else just
slogged
through it and got pushed through.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Like, that's 80 to 90%.
Yeah, I mean, it's, there's not trying to be just a douche, but it's all rental houses. No one knows who lives where. They don't pay taxes because they pack like 3 or 4 families into these old houses. And, it's just an old community that died off. And, the whole point I was getting at is that years ago when I worked in the school, we had a couple parents that would come in and like help chaperone and stuff, and 1 or 2 of them would speak Spanish because they were, they just spoke Spanish. They would talk to the parents in front of my face. The parents would tell them the countries that they came from down in South America. There were billboards and flyers that were distributed on a normal basis. The newspapers would advertise for them to leave and go up to these specific communities in New Jersey. So someone was funding all this, and I'm sure they still are.
Who would, like, is that like a George Soros kind of thing?
I would assume, or maybe some of that USAID stuff. As soon as that valve got turned off, everything kind of halted. But I swear, 2 separate times, the parents said to my face, or in front of me, to the other parent, that they were basically ushered and guided up here and given money to come up here, or at least enough funds to make it up here. And
right,
it's crazy. Billboards, they said. Billboards.
Yeah, that is. I mean, as far as conspiracies go, we talk about a lot of like wacky conspiracies, but you're like, that's a real, like, to find out who is behind this, and I guess why. Like what is? Yeah,
it's being funded.
Yeah, but I guess the question is why. Like, well, why would they want all? And again, the first thing I can think of is my theory of the whole economic system here, where they're like, we just growth has to always increase, and so they're just like, we just need more people, and we'll take it at any cost.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I know you mention that often about that, just the bubble that they just keep pumping. But I mean, that seems to be either their only game plan or whatever. But if that's their game plan and they choose to eliminate tons of jobs because of AI, where does that lead them?
Well, the thing is this probably was pre-AI. Like the AI stuff is so recent.
Oh, yeah.
Where all this stuff coupled with AI, you're like, this is really bad news.
Recipe for chaos.
Oh,
That's what
big
it is.
time. Like I can't tell you exactly where this goes, but I cannot imagine it's a good thing.
Yep. So that was 10 years ago. That was 10 years ago, and that was just one town. And there's many, many towns in central New Jersey like this. So
yeah, and I imagine there's towns in every city in America that are like this. And so the kids didn't speak English at all?
The kids, since they were born, they picked up on it. They had accents, but, out of the 80, 90%, probably 60, 70% spoke English, but some absolutely not at all. Like they would just plug them into the classroom and they would just sit there.
That's crazy.
And that was it. Like they didn't learn it. They're fifth grade, and they didn't know how to do addition and subtraction. Fifth grade.
That's crazy. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you said, it was just like daycare.
Yeah, it's like daycare. So I guess this 80 to 100 million thing is maybe not that crazy. But again, you're like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
What do you do with it?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. But
crazy.
All right.
Cool, man. Anything else?
That's about all I got.
All right. Appreciate it.
The other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing, Danny. Have you ever listened to or watched the Dark Journalist channel on YouTube?
I don't believe
or heard about it.
It sounds familiar. I don't think I've seen it though.
Kurt Metzger's always blabbing about it, but I think
maybe
he
that's
said
where I heard
on,
it from.
on the Voicecast the other. Yeah, he's very good. He does. He's been on there for at least 10 years, and every Friday night he has a show. Very good. I think he'd be a good guest if you could get him on. But he talks about Kennedy stuff, all different weird supernatural shit, UFOs. It's kind of right up your alley. If you could get him on, or just at least give him a listen, it might be something you're into.
Cool. Yeah, I'll see if I can get him on as a guest.
So,
yeah, I'll ask Kurt about him. All right, thanks, man.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Let me just make a note to myself about this Dark Journalist. Yeah, I'll see if I can get him on. All right. Let's take another call. Phone lines are open, everybody. 1-888-949-2969. Let's hear from you. I want to hear from you, and it's open lines all night. Let's go to our next caller. Sounds 80 to 90%. I can't even believe that. Man, when I went to school in Canada, like, fuck, man. Even in high school, I think it was 0. I know, obviously, there's less of it in Canada, but it's like Canada's not so bad of a country. I guess people get to America and you go, why would I keep going to Canada? That's maybe the logical explanation about that. But hello.
Yeah, sorry. I guess it didn't take the first time I unmuted myself.
All good. What's up, man?
So, hey, it was nice of Kurt to let you on the boys cast the other day.
Yeah. Now,
Kurt and
Jimmy, it's always the same thing. We just go, we just sit there and we listen.
Did you enjoy being called a retard? Or I see that you didn't bring that up, by the way.
What's that?
When you were calling people retards for believing that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's death.
Oh no, I talked about I talked about it with, yeah, I talked about it with I actually hung out with Kurt like pretty much all weekend in Skankfest, and we were kind of talking about it a little. He did our Boys Cast episode, and no, I mean I was like, we were in the green room, and I was like, yeah, it's like, I think it's retarded. I mean, I saw that thing that Candace Owens just came out with, saying something about like Egyptians, like these Egyptians were renting cars or something, and then some guy came out and he's like, yeah, I work in aviation. He's like, a pretty normal thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at this point, the stuff Candace Owens is doing.
I seem to remember you calling me and Jared retards for thinking it was Israel.
Yeah.
So it was just nice to see the tables turned.
Sure. You're saying because I didn't call Kurt a retard?
And yeah, he took the air up and called you a retard for about 5 minutes without really you acknowledging it.
Sure. Well, the problem is with when we have guests on our show is it's like it's like a comedy podcast. I don't really want to like get in a whole argument. And Kurt is very like overpowering too. He goes like a fucking mile a minute. So I guess it's a different dynamic in that sense. But no, I do definitely. Me and him were talking in the green room and I was like, yeah, it's Israel didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Is that still what your belief is, that Israel killed Charlie Kirk? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they kill him?
And
why would they kill him? Like,
yeah, is that so? What I think is that they constantly have people trying to assassinate different people. And I think what they do is they just let them run with it. They constantly stop these people, but then when they need somebody to be a body, they'll go ahead and let this person do their little thing. And the guy could have been dead already. You know, that's one thing that I've heard before is a lot of times with these assassinations, the person will have already been dead.
Who? Then, Charlie Kirk was already dead?
Pretend they shot them. No, the assassin. So like they'll have somebody that died beforehand, or they have a body already, and then
that's
have
what that
person.
guy.
That's why they've got.
What's that dude who came on the Las Vegas guy? Who came on, and he basically said that.
That was the only thing I agreed with that retard.
Yeah, well, yeah, John, where he was like, yeah, the guy was probably already dead, and they like use like some body double or something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, how do you feel about the fact, like, again, because for the people who think it was Israel, like, you have to, you have Candace Owens, I guess, looking into this, and obviously besides her fans, which she has a pretty large audience, I will concede that, but like guaranteed nothing will come of this. She's not going to find some smoking gun where she's like, I have actual proof that Israel, like she's just on her fucking fever dream, schizophrenic, whatever she's doing, where she, she's connecting all these crazy dots, but like nothing's coming of this. Though this whole thing is just gonna be
I think she gets fed good information, and then she gets fed good information, and then on top of that, she goes on like she gets fed bad information. I think it's kind of a way to make
I mean, the problem with her is she's
an angle to look like an idiot.
Yeah, and the problem is she's not coming at this like an objective journalist would, where they start doing research and the research takes them down like some path to, I guess, whatever the truth is. She started at Israel killed him. And so now she's just trying to, fill everything in, like backfill it in to prove her initial thesis, right? Like she started with the premise that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. So at that point you're like, well, yeah, obviously she's only going to find stuff that affirms that. And probably, I'm sure she's been fed stuff that didn't affirm that theory and she just ignores it.
Yeah. I mean, she's there to go and make it look bad. So I'm sure like there's always a lot more truth to it. I don't think it's as clear cut and simple as, hey, there was a Mossad agent they sent over directly to go and kill the guy. I think they just had their hands in it and they had motivation for it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that if Israel did kill Charlie Kirk, then there was one benefit from it, which is Bill Maher says he's not doing comedy anymore because he's afraid to get shot. Because that's what Kurt says. Kurt's like the reason
you're type 5 now.
Kurt, like he's like, yeah, the reason they like publicly executed him is like, it sends a message to other people. And so far, the only person who I've seen receive that message is Bill Maher, who's basically saying, I'm too scared to do comedy because I'm worried about getting shot. So I don't know if that was the purpose for the Mossad to kill Charlie Kirk, because it seems like everybody else is, like essentially, if this was true, like I can't think of, maybe you can, maybe you know more about this than me, but like, is there anybody who's purposely silencing themselves because they're worried that Israel's going to kill them now? That you think would have like spoken up about this?
So like one of the things that it keeps I think a lot of this stuff is like keep people quiet. I'm not sure about like Trump's assassination attempts because we still don't have answer on it.
Yeah, nothing.
Tucker did a good little like 30 minute thing on the Thomas Crooks kid the other day, and it does make it kind of odd when the way that he put it, and you have people like Douglas McGregor, who's a high up colonel, retired, and start saying that, you know, Israel has a likely hand in it, and then starts talking about the connections to Trump's almost assassinations as well, and just the shady stuff that goes behind it. So I think what they do, like I said, I think they push these people just like they did with OKC and all these other big high-profile events, is they get you there, and sometimes the person acts, or sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get past the point of no return where they're about to go and do it, and they stop them, or they, you know, accidentally, like OKC, don't stop the event, and you end up blowing up the whole building with a bunch of kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean,
that
again,
wasn't really what I called in about.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Cause I was just going to say, I always wonder, like, what would 9/11 or OKC, what it would have been like had there been social media at the time versus, you know, 4 news channels that just control all the information. And, you know, OKC, there was barely internet.
It didn't even matter because during the OKC, they just kept changing the story over and over again, and people have the memory of goldfish. Right. So like they kept changing the poundage of explosives. They changed the fact that they had a John Doe number 2.
Yeah, the second guy.
Like 16 different witnesses. The camera, they removed the camera that was there, and they can still see like where the camera was before in old footage that witnessed it. So, but one thing that I guess I wanted to talk about was, one, I just want to celebrate today. I beat my case today.
Congratulations.
I'm on probation. I am not going to prison.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not going to prison, so that's
nice. Good. That's great. Congratulations.
And thank you. Also, the files, when they go and release these files for Epstein or so-called files, a lot of this stuff they hide by having misspellings in the actual documents. So a lot of this stuff you're never going to find it because they'll have like keywords intentionally misspelled. So when you go and submit a FOIA request, it'll be like it won't actually.
Yeah, I've heard stuff like that before. But aren't they, like, from what I understand, like and I could be wrong with all this congressional stuff, aren't they just, we're releasing everything we have and just kind of have at it, or is it only stuff that's been FOIA?
So I highly doubt that it's going to get past the Senate.
No, I think the Senate. I saw something. I saw something from Chuck Schumer like an hour ago saying. Now again, this could just be bullshit, but he's essentially saying like this is going through. This will be on Trump's desk to sign, like in a day or two. I mean, that would be crazy if it gets.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. I mean, again, we'll see. But if this gets past, what is it, 427-1, and then the Senate's just like, yeah, we're not doing it. I don't know what that says. Probably.
I mean, they already had this situation before, and then they shut down the government to avoid that. That's what this whole government shutdown was originally a plot for, was to avoid voting on it.
Yeah.
And then when it gets to Trump's desk, good luck seeing him not veto this.
Well, he's saying he's going to sign. I mean, again, he'll have, that'll be a whole, like I mean, I don't know. Like, cause he seemed like he wanted this to go away for for so long. Then these emails came out, and like Marjorie Taylor Greene has turned on him, and he turned on her. And now he's saying like, yeah, I guess let's release them. Like that's his new talking point is let's get it. He's like, I'm not in there. He even said it today. He had like some press thing in the Oval Office, and he's like, look, he's like, I'm not, I told you, I said the guy was a creep. I kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Like, I have nothing to hide. So if he's going to go from I have nothing to hide then to veto it, then I guess, I don't know. I guess he'll have to have a very good explanation, or it'll just be the type of thing where he goes, I'm doing this and I'm not trying to get reelected. But there are the midterms, so there is something to be lost by him not doing, by just vetoing it.
Well, so the other thing, now that you bring up the midterms, the other thing, Mr. Danny Tariffs, how's that tariff thing going for you? Are we trusting the plan? Are we getting our fell for it again?
Yeah,
awards?
well, yeah, it's I don't, because he's talking now about the $2,000 tariff dividend that he wants to give out. Like, in terms of the negotiations with other countries, where because I follow Canadian news as well, and I can tell you in Canada, and I'm sure the Canadians who are watching this can affirm this, there are all these like manufacturing companies who are shutting down and moving their facilities to the United States because of the tariffs. So in that sense, you're like, in terms of bringing jobs to America, bringing production to America, it is working. I know he rolled back all these tariffs last week on like coffee because, we had the one guy who calls in, he has a coffee shop, and you're like, there's no coffee manufactured in America. The only coffee that's produced in America is produced in Hawaii. It's already the most expensive coffee. So, if you just think about how much coffee gets consumed, and it goes up for everyone, and bananas, and there's all these products. So he said he's rolling those back. I don't know. Like I said, I said this earlier in the year when he first started laying this out. This is the greatest economic experiment that's ever been attempted, essentially. You won't know in real time whether it works. You'll only know, down the line. I can tell you everything. I see gas prices coming down. Like, I don't know what they're like where you are, but like when I go on the road and stuff, I was in Texas, I was just in New Orleans. I think I saw like $2.50 a gallon, which, seems pretty cheap.
My vehicles all take premium gas, so I don't even bother looking at the amount I pay anymore.
Yeah. But $2.50 for regular gas seems fairly cheap to me. Again, I was in Vancouver, 6 months ago, and gas there is $1.90 a liter. Granted, it's Canadian, but they make they have oil like 2 provinces over, like some of the largest oil deposits in the world.
You know how much it is in Iran?
Yeah, I know. It's like 3 cents a liter or some shit.
Yeah.
1
cent a liter.
But the thing is like gas is the largest.
Bringing along world peace.
Sure. Yeah. It seems the world is very peaceful right now. I don't.
Well, they're all coming together against us.
Well, right. Yeah, I can't tell you how this tariff thing will work out. But I was gonna say, oil generally and gas prices are one of the biggest inputs in the cost of everything. So you think if oil prices, gas prices come down, that should reflect in the costs, but I don't see costs coming down. I don't know about you. I don't see costs coming down anywhere other than eggs, but that was not like tariff related. That was, from what I understand, because they were killing all these chickens. So I don't know.
The one thing, but I did want to get into one thing that my little conspiracy corner theory.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So Russia was performing nuclear tests, or actually not nuclear tests, nuclear. I don't know how they put it. It's not an actual nuclear test where they're actually testing the warhead. They're testing the actual
the delivery mechanisms,
components that launch, like the missiles. Delivery.
Yeah.
So they put out this thing that they were talking about, the Burevestnik nuclear powered missile, and it's I guess it kind of runs the way that it looks like it's air cooled initially. It gets up into the air by using jet fuel, and then kind of stays perpetually up in the air using an air cooled compressor that powers a turbo, kind of like a really intense air conditioning unit, and then just propels itself all around. And it started making me think about how something similar that they're trying to do, where Elon's rockets, because I don't believe that we went to the moon, and I don't think we're ever going to Mars anytime soon.
Are we going to the moon next year?
To think about all these. Yeah, the Bitcoin So Elon's rockets, the way that they go and stay up there kind of perpetually and then come down and re-land, and then they make and test all this gear. I'm thinking that all of this is to create, I guess, components to when they go and destroy the planet and restart everything.
Yeah.
That they have a way to reinitialize life back on Earth once everything is basically just a giant sand molehill.
And like what? They're going to take people to
delivery systems.
So they're going to take like certain people into space while they blow up the Earth and then bring them back, kind of thing?
No. They have domes, the deep underground military bunkers. They have tons of those all over the country. All over the planet, especially in Australia. And what they'll do probably is have everybody that's of the elite status go and live underneath the Earth. And then once things are cooled out and chilled out, they'll start using that technology that they are able to operate on like barren wastelands, like what Mars looks like, hypothetically, of what we've been shown Mars looks like. I don't know what you think about that.
That's one of those things where it's certainly an interesting theory, but then I'm also like, well, I'm definitely not going to get to go hang out in one of these underground bunkers. So I guess I'm getting nuked in this scenario. So,
you might.
No, I don't think I have. I don't think I have that kind of pull.
A dancing clown.
Yeah, I don't think I have that kind of pull. I don't think when they're kind of going through who we need and who we don't need, I'm going to make the cut on that one. So that's one of those things where if it happens, it'll be one of those things where there'll be a flash of light in the distance, and you're going to be like, "Fuck, I knew I was right," and then just gonzo, I guess. I don't know. I definitely believe that all the stuff like the rockets that Elon's doing he's just saying it's to connect the world for, internet, essentially, stuff like that. They're definitely going to use it for other things. I definitely believe that.
Katy Perry went up there and that looked really believable.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think, will you change your tune at all on the moon landing stuff? Because America is going to the moon next year, I believe. That's the plan. If they go...
Oh yeah, and we're gonna release the Epstein Files too.
Hey, we might be talking in 12 months from now, and you go, we got the Epstein Files, we were back on the moon, everything's going great. You never know, but yeah.
Yeah, I just found I found these pills online, by the way, that make my dick about 10 inches longer.
It's great. Send them over. I don't know. I am doubtful on this Epstein stuff. I am more interested in the moon stuff than the Epstein stuff, to be honest. I would like to, because even if they say they're going to the moon and they're not, it'll be interesting, because obviously there'll be a contingent of people who are like, this is total horseshit, but at least we'll get to see it in like high definition, however they, want to tell us they went to the moon or not. I guess they'll be, people who don't believe we went to the moon will just be like, yeah,
I'm moving to a place right now that is basically all people that work over there. And all my dad's neighbors are working over there. I'll see if I can find some interesting stuff from them.
Yeah.
Talked to a few of them, and they weren't that impressive. To let you know.
Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah. Get the scoop. Let me know. All right, later, man. Dylan, everybody. All right, let's talk to the Goob. I'm sure he wants to tell us about beating up transgenders. We'll see how that's been going for him. Probably good, but we'll see. Who knows what he's getting up to? Poison 53 says, people called me crazy when I said there might be 50 million illegals. Now the white man knows I spoke the truth. Yeah, I mean, you're on the ground too. That's the thing. You're Mexican, so you would probably know better than most people. Goob.
What's up, Danny?
How's it going? How's your punch
Pretty good.
transgenders going?
Yeah, so that's the thing, Danny. I know this is a comedy show, and I know
This is
it's
not a
much
comedy
funnier
show.
to say Goob wants.
This is not a
I know
comedy
it's
show.
much funnier to say Goob wants you to punch trannies, but that's not what I've said. That's not even close. And I'd like to have a more serious conversation tonight without you straw manning everything.
All right, let's
because
hear it.
this is a very serious topic.
Okay,
So,
let's do it.
you know, I also realize that I'm basically trying to teach calculus to people who can't count, and I'm trying to tell the entire country, you know, the equivalent of like an obese person that they need to exercise and diet or else they're going to die. It's not something that people want to hear, but it needs to be heard. So what I have
let's hear it.
actually said.
Yeah. No, obviously I'm joking a bit. I don't think you're actually saying punch
I know you are, Danny,
transgenders.
but that's why I'm asking for a more serious conversation tonight.
Okay.
So spend time with your friends in real life, have real conversations about these topics, be visibly patriotic, bully the freaks, and do not condemn people who are further to the right to you. Do not, you know, respond to the racism and anti-Semitism, and certainly don't participate in it. That's what I'm actually saying. You know, and I wanted to talk about Jay Jones again, because you said that Jay Jones would hurt the left, and I said, no, it'll actually make them stronger. Well, Jay Jones was elected.
Yeah,
right.
he won.
So
it did not. Yeah, he had no negative backlash from him basically saying he wanted to kill kids.
And that makes perfect sense if you understand how these things actually work. You were trying to, which is what most people do, apply individual psychology to the country. And that doesn't work. You have to understand group psychology, which is often very contradictory to, you know, individual psychology. So yes, if you had a conversation with someone on the left and you go, do you think this is a good thing for him to say? They'd probably say no. But because the left refused to condemn him, and then because he actually got elected, what ends up happening on aggregate, sure, some people might turn away from the left, but keep in mind that how stupid the average person is, and then remember that half the people are even more stupid than that.
Mm-hmm.
So what actually ends up happening is the message that they get is that, oh, Republicans actually are worse than killing Republican children. And that is acceptable, and the Republicans really are that bad. It further cements the left and their narrative. It doesn't do the opposite. Meanwhile, you have this massive campaign on the right to cancel anyone who criticizes Israel or who supports white, you know, interests and all of this bullshit. Like I said, the cancellation, all of the control, the power, the ability to actually silence people, it comes from those on the right, not on the left. If the right refused to participate, it wouldn't work. And yet the right is the one who is, you are aware of this massive campaign, you know, to cancel Tucker and all these people, right?
Of course. Well, I know there's a lot of people who are critical of him. I don't know how you would cancel him. He has a YouTube channel. Like, that's the thing.
Right. Well, they're trying to get people to think he's an evil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but isn't that just the game though? Like, isn't that like the kind of politics game where you're trying to say, you know, our ideas are the right ones, their ideas are the wrong ones, and
yes, but Danny, I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to give the prescription to how to save America. I don't have time to go into all of the psychology of everything, how it breaks down, but I'm giving you the answers. This is what needs to be done. We have to reject those people who are, you know, critical of people who are further to the right to them. That has to end. Okay, we have to support our warriors.
And when you say further to the right, you're saying like the Nick Fuentes types, like stuff like that.
Sure, anyone who's accused of racism or anti-Semitism, any of those isms, we have to reject that. We have to stop participating in that game. How much damage have Nazis done to this country? How many lives have Nazis ruined? None. How many lives have, you know, these woke games ruined?
Yeah.
Right. And
I mean, I will concede.
Talking about,
well, I was just going to say, it is fascinating because remember that guy went on Jubilee and he's like, I'm a fascist. And basically they like got him fired, his job fired him the next day. And it is interesting. You can say, if you say you're a fascist, that is essentially a fireable offense. If you say you're a communist, people are like, oh, that's cute.
Right. And that can change. But the way you change it is you have to reject this bullshit. We have to stop participating in it. Right now, the right is participating in it more actively and aggressively than the left even is. Okay. This is what I've been talking about. This needs to stop. And things are, you know, Danny, as you were talking earlier, you're like realizing the immigration problem is way worse than you realized it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've said that the majority of leftists, the majority of Jews, Muslims, and blacks want you dead. And you think that's crazy of me to say. I promise you it's not. It was really funny. Last time we talked, I said you can.
I mean,
use
you're obviously
whatever
being a little
insane
hyperbolic, like when you say they.
I'm
want
not
you
at all.
dead.
I'm truly not at all, Danny. I'm truly not at all.
Yeah,
and
that's
again,
that's the one
remember,
where
I'm not saying these people are not going to go into the street and kill you themselves, right? In the same way
They
that
just want
I
you out
want
of
$1
the
million,
picture.
but I'm not going to rob a bank. But they do, in fact, want you dead. And it was funny. Last time we talked, I said you can use whatever insane mental gymnastics you want to try and justify why grandma doesn't want you dead. And then after I hung up, you go on and talk about how, well, grandma doesn't want you dead. She just thinks you're worse than a Nazi. You're worse than someone who wants to kill children, right? What do you think that means? What is the biggest trope of time machines? You go back and you kill baby Hitler. You are a bad, immoral person if you don't want to kill Hitler. And so, you know, when grandma thinks that you are worse, then you're a literal Nazi and you're worse than someone who wants to kill innocent Republican children because they might grow up to be Nazis. What do you think that means? The way you described how she doesn't want you dead is exactly how I would describe why she does.
Okay, fair.
Right. And so this is critically important. This is only the first step, right? And the reason why I say specifically we need to bully trannies. You were also talking about Epstein, right? People are so worked up over Epstein and the children. We have to save the children. I promise you that the damage of a few hundred teenagers getting trafficked to, you know, rich pedophiles is nothing compared to the roughly 1 million children in America who are trans and have had their lives irrecoverably, you know, ruined. They will have health issues for the rest of their life. They'll never be able to have children. They are destroying approximately 1 million children's lives in America right now. Okay, so if you care about the children, you should be bullying the trannies because you can't take these kids from their parents and like sit them down and be like, hey, let's have a conversation about this. Let's help you, you know, make better decisions. That's not allowed. You're not going to be able to pull kids aside and do that, right? So the way you stop this madness is by bullying trannies. The other reason why trannies are not the biggest threat in America, not even close. The Muslims are way, way more dangerous. But we cannot deal with the Muslims. We cannot deal with the immigrants. We cannot deal with any of these things until we knock some dominoes over first. And the first domino that needs to fall is this woke bullshit cancellation thing and the trannies. We need to reject the cancellation and the woke bullshit, and we need to reject the trannies. They are the warriors. How many tranny assassins have there been in the last year, right? The trannies are the warriors of the left. They are the human embodiment of the left, right? They must be taken down first. And there's people, a lot of people are finally coming on board with, oh yeah, this is fucked. This needs to stop. The hurdles to try and go, we need to expel Muslims from the country because the majority of Muslims in America support Sharia law and jihad. That is also a fact. Those hurdles are way bigger, and we're not going to be able to overcome those until some earlier dominoes fall. So again, this is all very complicated. My understanding of these things is beyond an elite level. I understand this extremely well. And I'm trying to just give a prescription to what needs to be done right now to end the collapse. And again, like, I realize people don't want to hear this. I'm basically telling the whole country that they're obese to the point that they are imminently about to die because of the bad decisions they've made and the weakness and the habits that they've had, right? And they need to exercise and diet or else they will imminently die. And it might even be too late for that anyways. Mm-hmm. So that's not something that anyone wants to hear. You tell an obese person that, they get upset, they reject it. That's exactly what, you know, you guys are doing now, because this is very uncomfortable to hear. You don't want to face the reality that half the people around you genuinely want you dead. Doesn't mean they're going to kill you themselves, but they do want you dead. This is all incredibly grim, but it also can change pretty quickly if these steps are followed. Have these conversations with your friends, help them understand this, spend real time with it. Like in the 90s, people used to go to their friend's house every fucking weekend and hang out. They'd go to the bar. Now everyone's online. Everyone's arguing on Twitter, wasting their time. You know, go out into the real world. have real conversations with your friends, be visibly patriotic, bully the freaks, confront the demons, and stop condemning people to the right of you. And make sure you say top of the morning to you, sir, next time you see a troon, and be prepared for them to punch you in the face and then punch them back harder.
Yeah. I love how I was like, it's talking about punching. You're like, I don't want to punch them. You just ended with punching them.
I don't, but if they try and punch me, I'm sure as fuck going to punch them back.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I guess
not the same thing at all, Danny.
There are two sides to this coin, I suppose, where, some people are like, well, I guess you're rejecting like civility as a way out of this. You're like, we tried civility. That's not working.
Yes. You agree that bullying is good. You talk about, bullying the foreign kids, right?
Yeah.
And when I say bullying, I think people imagine something insane, right? They're like, yeah, you want to just go up and sucker punch these people. That's not bullying. That's random violence. I am talking about bullying.
Yeah. You're talking about more
I'm talking about speaking brutal truths. I'm talking about just rejecting the bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, things are coming more around to that line of thinking probably than they were 5 years ago, but
they are, but it needs to happen much quicker.
Yeah. Because I mean, you wouldn't have been able to do this.
We do not have time to fuck around anymore. We are the obese person that is on the brink of death right now.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one to, because my kind of the way I think about it is you want to kind of maybe try and talk these people out of this stuff. They can have more of a conversation.
But that doesn't work. That's a waste of time. The conversations do not work. Look what happened to Charlie Kirk, right? The conversation is over. It is time to just reject them, stand tall, stand proud, and do not flinch when they call you racist or any of that shit.
Yeah, and I think that's, definitely people are getting more on like, yeah, I don't care if someone calls me racist at this point. That is definitely changing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, obviously the women in sports stuff, that seems to all be getting, the trans women in sports, that's all getting rejected, which, does some benefit to the cause that you're kind of putting forth.
It just needs to go. It just needs to go more completely. But yes, there is a little bit of momentum. That is the first domino that needs to fall. Again, trannies are not the biggest threat to America, but they're the first thing that needs to fall. Again, if you can convince people that a man is a woman, that men can get pregnant, well, that's next. Let's get.
You want to start bullying Muslims?
Absolutely, but that's where you're going much further down the line. We need to, baby steps here, Danny.
One
right?
thing at a time here. I saw that guy today who was doing some on Twitter. He was doing something where he was like stapling, or like he was putting like bacon on Quran somewhere.
Right, and I encourage anyone to push any of these avenues right now. Right, like you can go bully the Muslims right now. I'm certainly not telling anyone not to. I'm just trying to get people to understand that like it's not going to actually remove them currently. There's other dominoes that need to fall first.
I mean, but what if but what if you're not going to remove them? Period. Like there's a lot of these people are U.S. citizens.
Then America dies.
Yeah, I mean that is a conversation that a lot of people are having, where there is some point where and you see this in Europe and stuff, and Canada a little, and America, where there is some tipping point where you go, yeah, it's like once you get to this point, you're never going back. I'm actually of the belief that the old like countries change, and this ideal that like, oh, you're just gonna somehow snap your fingers and go back to like 1980s America with those demographics is probably over.
Well, it's here's what I'll say about that, right? If that's what you want, trying to push for like I hear so many people say, oh, we need to repeal the 19th. That would fix everything. Oh, we need to reinstate the Immigration Act of the 1800s, right? That would fix everything. And sure, maybe those would, but those aren't going to happen. That's not, we're nowhere close to that happening. If you want to get closer to those things happening, which I realize they're a long shot, but they're not they're impossible right now, but they're not entirely impossible. But it has to start here. It has to start with what I'm talking about. And, Danny, 15, 20 years ago, Pew Research did a study. This was in the wake of 9/11. And while, immigration was still pretty controlled, especially from Muslims. The majority of Muslims in every single Western nation in the world supported Sharia law. And a shocking number, like 30-40%, supported jihad. These are the Muslims living in the Western nations saying that they support Sharia law in those nations.
Yeah.
Right? When I'm talking about these groups wanting you dead, when I'm talking about the threat from these groups, I realize it sounds shocking. I realize it's something that's hard to accept, but I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being an alarmist. These are the harsh realities that we have created for ourselves. And if we don't want to end up like England, where you have girls getting raped and then arrested for saying they're getting raped while the Muslims get protected and get no jail time, you don't want that coming to America in the extremely near future. This is what must happen.
Yeah. It's actually, you're saying the Sharia law thing. I was talking to a comic, and he was in a Uber with some like Muslim Uber driver, and they were talking about like the burqas and stuff. And the guy actually put it the funniest way I've ever heard with the burqas. He goes, "We're not trying
I saw that tweet.
No. I didn't tweet about it, but he's like, we're not trying to, this is from Column, but I don't know, unless Column tweeted this, but he's like, they're not trying to put them in like burqas because we want to cover them up. It's just, they take so long to get ready. He's like, it's almost like blinders for a horse, where he's like, these women just take so long to get ready, where this is more for us. He's like, they're too distracted with so many things going on, where we just be like, put your fucking thing on and let's go. And I go, oh, that's actually,
that is a funny take.
That is like the best explanation for it. You go, yeah, we're just tired of waiting for you to get ready. All right, Goob. Thanks, buddy. Goob, everybody. Vince says, very gay to commission some other fool for the dead dog painting. I didn't do it. My wife did. You're lucky I already paid for 12 more months of your worthless Patreon, Bati boy. JK, I can't quit you. Enjoy your trash painting. I love you, Vince. And it was the wife who commissioned it. It was obviously, I had nothing to do with it. But if you want to make one, Vince, chat with me. If we can get you to make us a second one, we will happily have one, and I will happily display it. Vince does great artwork. Hold on. We got a Vince original in the studio right now, of course, from the Bugman versus Bugman competition, where I was victorious over Ryan Long in the hot dog eating competition. Borderline, never been sicker in my life. Let me just put that back. There we go. I love you, Vince. Dylan Farnham says, Holtzy is an F word. I don't know who that's in reference to. And AH says, do you listen to Tom Longo? His belief is the U.S. is still a colony of England, and Trump's global actions are a revolution. The UK is the puppet master. I find it hard to believe the UK is a puppet master of anything at this point in the game, but I'll check it out. Okay, let's go to Pablo, because Pablo probably has something to say about all these damn immigrants. Pablo, what's up, man?
Hello, Danny. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Danny. Great to talk to you again.
Likewise. Always good to talk to Pablo.
Listen, I feel validated for my talks on immigration and how there have been illegals here way more than anybody suspected.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much the Bureau of Immigration was claiming. I think they said 20 million illegals.
They said like 20 million on the high end, which seems like probably more than that came in under Biden.
But 20 million throughout the entire U.S.
Yeah.
is what they were saying. I was claiming close to 50 million in California. Now, I know that might have been an exaggerated number.
50 million in just California?
That was my number.
That's
obviously high. I have no scientific evidence for this.
Yeah.
All right? And I understand that it sounds crazy. I only know about here in California. I grew up here in California. I've always lived here in California.
I mean, for people who don't know, you're Mexican. You have family members who are not in the country legally. You're in the trenches of this stuff.
I'm first generation American here. I was born to Mexican immigrants. Everybody before that was a Mexican immigrant. My parents are the first in their families to have U.S. citizenship. I am at the forefront of this. I know people from all the way down in Mexicali all the way up to Sacramento. I span almost the entire fucking state here.
Okay.
And so I know that there's like, everybody talks, when people think of California, they only think about the big cities, LA, San Francisco, Sacramento. That's about it. They forget about the absolute shitholes that we live in the middle of the fucking country, i.e., like Fresno, Bakersfield, fucking McFarland, these absolute dog shit cities that the only thing keeping them together is farming and oil. That's all that's here. People like to think there's more. There's like Lancaster, which has a military base, but they don't hire that many fucking Mexicans. They only hire a certain amount of people. It's not that big of an economy off of a military base, even though people like to believe there is. And so the only thing holding these fucking cities together is farming and oil. The oil field, they like to say that they're American bred workers here, drill your own oil. It's fucking Mexican. All right.
Yeah.
It's Mexican.
Everything's Mexican. I mean, every restaurant in New York City, I don't know what it's like in other parts of the country, but if you go into a kitchen in any restaurant in New York City, it's all Mexicans basically.
It's like that across the entire country. When I went to Washington State for a job, every single restaurant there, it's all Mexican. Every single restaurant in Oregon, it's all Mexican. It's here in California. They're all Mexicans. They're Mexicans for restaurants, for moving companies, for your plumbing, your yard work, all the stereotypical things that you think of Mexicans doing, they're fucking doing it. And so when people say, oh, it's not that many, I go, you don't understand. The housing isn't there for it, right? There aren't enough houses to house the 20 million illegal immigrants.
Right.
But they don't live like normal Americans think they do. They are, like your other caller was saying, they are living 10 families into like a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
And people go, why would they live like that? Because they're used to living in dirt.
Right. And you can save a lot of money, right?
You guys, not only do you save a lot of money, some of these guys live like this, and they're sending half of their fucking paycheck back to Mexico to their actual families. And they're going, my family's over there living great. I have to work here for 10 years, and I can go retire over there.
Right.
Even now when like the cost of living is so high, they can still do that. And people don't, for some whatever reason, aren't thinking about that or think that's not a real thing. I go, you don't understand. It's more real now than it is ever. And listen, I'm only aware about the Mexicans and some of the Indians.
Yeah, Indians in Canada do that exactly. Yeah, Indians in Canada do that exact same thing where they'll live like many families to a house, and then eventually they save up and they own the house, and then that's kind of how they build wealth.
And that's right, because they don't want to keep flying back and forth between India and Canada. They take their little spot here, and they just start flying in relatives, and then the relatives do the exact same thing. And that's how Indians very quickly started to take over most of these communities, right? People like to talk about how, like in Bakersfield, for example, there are certain corners of that city that are 95% Indian.
Wow.
Right? Like entire neighborhoods, 95% Indian. And you go, how is this possible? It's exactly that. One guy came in, lived, 10 of his brothers, all of them in one spot, and they just started slowly expanding from there. And it's literally like a plague. I'm not calling them a plague. I don't hate Indians.
Yeah.
I'm not calling them a plague. I'm saying the way they spread is plague-like.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the fact is
if Americans did this.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact is Americans just like can't comprehend living like that. Like there's nothing stopping, if you have a big family and you're all American born, there's nothing stopping anybody from doing that. There's just the idea they're like, we're going to live like that. I don't want to live like that. That seems horrible because they're not thinking far ahead. They're more thinking for the present. Where all these immigrant families that go, yeah, we know what it's like back home, which is probably what you're saying, where you go, yeah, if we go back home, we live like this anyways. So we might as well live like this here and just get ahead.
What? Where they have AC and running and clean water.
Yeah.
Right? It makes perfect sense. I can't hate on them. Right? The hustle, right? Don't hit the player, hit the game. It makes perfect sense. If I was in their situation, I'd do the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
But to them think like imagine this, like part of the problem with it is the fact that they're sending half of their money away. They don't spend their money here. Their money is spent on rent, food, water, and power. And that's it. They're not spending their money here. They're sending half of it back home to then have them, spend their money on different countries.
Right.
And I'm like, how are we not worried about this at all? This is partially why our money is so why inflation is so bad. Half of the money is just leaving the fucking country.
I know. And there's nothing, I mean, there's no way. I know Trump wanted to put a 1% tax on remittances, but I don't even, 1%, I don't know if that would, people would be like, they would just pay it,
What the fuck it would do.
Yeah, I don't know what 1% would do.
Yeah,
But also, like, if you put
listen,
too high of a tax on it, there's ways around it. I'm sure people would figure out, a million loopholes.
I mean, they might just start taking the cash with them and flying back. I don't fucking.
Yeah. There's a million ways around
like,
it. Exactly.
Right, or buy stuff here and sell it over there. It doesn't fucking matter. What I'm saying is, I only know about these two specific communities. I only know about Mexicans and Indians, right? I do not know about what I was told is that when my parents first moved here, the Chinese community and the Japanese community was massive, right?
Yeah.
But they were the Mexicans. They were Mexicans before us.
Yeah,
I don't know where the fuck they went.
I mean, they're probably lots of, like, in New York City, like, I know a lot of people that are like, yeah, my landlord's Chinese. Like, they probably have had enough time here where they're like, yeah, now we like own property and we have money and stuff, and they kind of, eventually you don't have to live like that.
Right. Maybe they moved from California to another state. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, like, I gave you a number only off of these two communities. If you add in the other communities, like the guy who called in saying that these guys are coming from like Venezuela and Brazil or fucking Colombia, pick yourself.
Anybody.
One of those shithole countries.
Yeah.
Pick your shithole country in the middle. Who the fuck cares nowhere? It makes perfect sense that they would be coming over here, sitting 10 families deep, and you just go, oh shit, there's only a house here. There must be one family. The population's 10x what you think it is.
Yeah. Like the census, they go knock on the door and they go, how many people live here? And they're like 3, and it's 30.
Yeah. Right. So it's one of those things where like people are like, oh, the census says, 30 million people living in this one state. It legitimately might be 300 million. It legitimately.
Yeah, I don't know about the population of California is 300 million.
Listen, I know. I'm just speaking out of my ass. It more likely would be 100 million. If they say 30, it might be 100 million, right?
Yeah.
Double.
I mean, I've heard many stories in New York City of, because all like the construction workers are all Mexican or Central American or whatever, but it is a regular thing where it's a 1-bedroom apartment and 10 guys live there. And they all just pay like $300 a month, and they just live there until they save up enough money. Because you probably make decent money doing construction in New York, and they just save up all the money, send it back, and then eventually, I guess, dip.
Yeah, exactly that. And when they dip, guess what? There's a new guy trying it out too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, if you know this, if you live in some country and you go, that's the deal. You move to America 10 years, just work your ass off, live like shit, and then you get to move back to wherever you're from and you're rich now and set for life. It's probably for a lot of people, you go, that's pretty attractive.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. Like I said, I'm not hating on them. I just kind of hate that we allow this shit to happen.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, some people were calling me crazy for estimating 50 million illegals, and now that there's more people talking about it, it's like, no, you don't understand. It's not just here in California that the illegals are concentrating in. They're all over the country.
Yeah,
so
they're everywhere.
I just want to say I feel vindicated that the people are starting to come out and go, hey, he was right.
When you were a kid in school, were there tons of illegals who were like your classmates?
A ton. Listen, as a child, I wasn't paying attention to.
Yeah, you weren't aware of people's immigration status.
Listen, I wasn't aware at the time. All I can tell you about is my personal family growing up, and out of my personal family growing up, it was just my parents who were legal immigrants.
Right.
Everybody else was illegal.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
and you got to figure that
the first house that I remember.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The first house that I remember. It was a 3-bedroom, and it was 8 families.
What?
It was 8 families of us, something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, it was 1 family per room, 1 family living in the 2 families living in the garage. They had built a wall in between and built like partial rooms or whatever the fuck they would be called.
Yep.
I think we had a family in the living room, a family in the dining room, and then we had a shed in the back. There was another family in there.
That's insane. And who's renting this place out? Like, who owns the place? Just like a landlord?
It was a guy that my uncle knew.
Oh, okay. And so he knows the deal.
Had come to America. That dude had come to America beforehand, and all he said was like, "Listen, I know what you guys do here. Just make sure rent's paid on time."
Right. And he probably charges a little more rent for that fact. Because, I know a lot. Like if my landlord fucking showed up and I had 8 families living in my apartment, they'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here! Like you can't do this." But I guess if you have other people who did the same thing, were a little earlier, and they're like, "I own the place now," they're a little more chill with it, and they know the deal, and they just go, "Yeah, it's fine. As many people as you can cram in here, go ahead."
Dude, this was 2001. The dude was probably charging $1,600 for a house in 2001. Which the house was probably, it made more sense to charge, average rent would have probably been $1,000. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, whatever. So he charges a bit of a premium, but it's spread out among 30 people, so everybody's
It's spread out enough that it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, every person's $50 a month, and you're like, okay, that's totally doable.
Right.
Crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how they could. Yeah, I don't know how they could ever fix that other than just sealing the border, but. Even at this point, you're like, yeah, well, I mean, I would love to just get a census of what is going on in this country. Canada, too, for that matter. Like, how many people are actually here? You probably could with phones and stuff, too. You could probably get a decent idea if you just did, like, cell phone plans and stuff like that.
Most likely now.
Yeah.
Just how many cell phones are being bought in these cities?
Yeah, how many cell phones? Like, how many just, like, they probably could get, like, a rough idea. And you know what? They probably do. They probably have looked into this, and they probably do know, and they just don't want to say.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You're right.
Yeah.
Just how many cell phones are bought in this area? Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, how many texts are getting sent from unique numbers, and they probably could figure. But if they came out and they go, "Hey, we just crunched the numbers. There's 500 million people here," people would fucking lose it.
Yeah, definitely. I won't take any more of your time, Dan.
All right, cool, Pablo.
Appreciate
Good talking to you.
My call.
As always, Pablo, everybody. All right, we're going to go to another foreign sounding name. Phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. Let's hear from you. Hello.
Danny. Hey, you made a comment about Mamdani's accent.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking that, like, maybe I'm siding with him because I'm brown dude that wanted to be a rapper too, but it is like he speaks Urdu in the dialect. Like if I speak Urdu, I sound like a white person speaking it. But he's going on Pakistani news and speaking it in the specific dialect, maybe because it's international or whatever thing. Obviously, that gives him like a little bit of that perk. But honestly, I do feel like it's the fact that he's like beyond code switching. It kind of is like a benefit to him. Obviously, like New York.
I guess like with I saw the Ugandan thing, but again, you're speaking with people and you're like in English, I guess it's I don't know. I mean, maybe it is a cultural thing. I don't know. Like, but it seemed odd how many different accents he would just throw on.
Yeah, it was like next level. Like Kamala Harris could only dream of doing that.
Kind of.
Like, you mentioned something I maybe didn't understand.
Yeah, go ahead.
I maybe misheard you, but you mentioned something about if the files implicate the Democrats only, then it's true. I may have misheard you.
Yeah, I'm saying like if it comes out and just the Republicans are unscathed, because again, they probably, that's what Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, is saying is they're going to have a month to basically shred anything that implicates the Republicans. And maybe at that point you're like, fuck, they probably. I mean, this would just, I guess,
blank
blow
sheet
up
of paper.
But this would be like some play that just blows up in the Democrats' face where they thought, they were going to out all these Republicans. And I don't know. The whole thing is fishy. The entire thing is, stinks to high heaven.
And the government opening up, like my family business, we contract with the VA and stuff, and like they've opened up, but they're like, it's like, doesn't seem like all of them are still there or something. Do you know, like, has it just gone back to normal?
For the government reopening?
Is it like parts of the government opened up? Because the VA finally, like some of them are getting back to us, so it doesn't seem like in the office.
Yeah,
but
I was in the airport
down?
this weekend. It seemed normal besides my flight getting delayed, but it didn't seem like there were a crazy amount of delays. It just seemed like it was my flight. Like I know a lot of people who left Skankfest and they didn't have issues. So I don't know what it was. I think the pilot said something about there's crazy wind in New York. That's what he blamed it on. So it might have actually just been, but like TSA seems normal. I don't know. Everything seemed fairly normal. I don't know all the like agencies that were shut down though. So it's hard to say.
And not to be stuck on the like scandalous things, but is it that Donnie gave Clinton, like it's confirmed that he gave him a head, or is it kind of like it's some likelihood of it? That,
There was this one email that from Epstein that basically said something about Trump blowing Bubba, and Bubba is Clinton's nickname. That's what they were saying. Someone's came out and they're like, yeah, it wasn't Clinton. But obviously, who's going to come out and confirm that Donald Trump blew Bill Clinton? Like, nobody's going to come out and confirm that. So, but that is, I mean, again, I don't actually believe that Donald Trump blew Bill Clinton. But I was arguing with Kurt Metzger. Kurt Metzger's like, yeah, of course he did. It's like, that's what they do. But I don't.
There's conspiracy theorists that were saying like satanic devil worshippers are throwing our country. I guess they were.
Yeah, that's like, that's just like it's the stuff they do. You want to be in politics, you gotta fuck a, it's all the pedophile stuff where you're like, yeah, you want to be in politics, like you gotta fuck a boy. It's not because you're gay. It's just that's how you get in the club, and we know that we can trust you. Is you fuck a boy and
the hazing, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The hazing.
I assume other people also, not to diverse topic, enjoy your political commentary, but like I used to look forward for the Patreon bonuses. You would give your own little thing, and obviously I'm just throwing this out there, but like your cultural or political commentary of like the day, I think it's something that people would really benefit
I was
from.
doing. You know what the problem was? I kind of bit off a little more than I could chew with that because I was doing those Thursday episodes, and it was taking those were taking me like 4 hours to prepare and do, and I was just like, man, this is just so much, and it just wasn't getting people signing up for the Patreon. So I was like, I don't know, this doesn't seem like the thing that does it, but I'll think of something.
And I commend you because like if I had a call-in show where every other person was calling in just completely shitting on Muslims. I know like Jews, like the ethnicity and the race thing, it's a little separate, and I'm also somewhat secular, but still the fact that you go with it. And I just want to say like to the other person, like Pakistan is 99% Muslim, but even they have like a really like truncated Sharia law barely. So if the U.S. is a 1% Muslim, I don't think there's a threat. You're saying that my family's Muslim.
How does it work in Pakistan? Like with it's just a small portion of it is the Sharia law stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think my understanding of it is like just influenced by Sharia law, but it's like people are doing. People are
like
they're pretty
whatever. Yeah, they're pretty like Western secular kind of.
I've heard like the only places I've heard crazy stories about like enforcing Sharia law is Saudi Arabia, which of course we all know is we're good friends with. That's where I've been there, and like when they had prayer, and then I was very secular, so I was walking away going to the KFC, and the guard like got mad at me, and he was holding his baton. He's like, go back, go and pray.
Oh, really?
I'll be real. Like I'm not gonna pretend like everyone's. That was pretty gnarly. That happened in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. So that's.
Yeah. But again, but they seem to be the ones who are trying to westernize it the most. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if. Now
Saudi's actually getting alcohol and stuff too. So actually they are changing.
Yeah. They
I don't
seem
know
to be the ones
they're
who are,
police or.
Yeah. It seems like they're trying to change the most out of a lot of those places because they want to just kind of join the rest of the Western world in all of our horrible vices. But. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I'm not actually like I know all these people are saying, oh, like Mamdani is Sharia law, and I joke about it. I don't actually think there's going to be Sharia law in New York City.
It is really funny. I was telling my sister how you're like, oh, the wife's getting annoyed. Sometimes looking at Sharia law. Like Ben Binkus, he was saying, he was like, I used to not like seeing these women covering up completely than the cops. So from Canada, like you obviously there a lot. But he's like, I see these liberal white women just like for no reason leaving their husbands and. Not preventing them from seeing their kids, and I'm just like, like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
look, hey, Ben is pretty,
it's not. Yeah, they're not all wrong. Like, it's not all bad. There's some things about it that you go, yeah, I could see it, but from a man's standpoint, like if you're like, yeah, I don't totally care about equality. From a guy's standpoint, you go, yeah, I can see how this could be beneficial. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard.
And do you think the fact that I know the Red Pill talks about this, all the religions like want to control, like set restrictions on women, it's kind of like because, there's a reason for it or
I'm sure there's not no reason for it. I'm sure, like, I mean, again, that cab driver who was talking to Colin who said like, yeah, it's just like the burqas are just blinders like on a horse, but for women, it gives them less stuff to think about.
I don't know if you've seen, but Trump actually gave a pretty funny comment where he was saying that, I used to think that these women shouldn't be covering up, but then I talk to them. They're like, no, we would love to do this. They're like, I see all you in the crowd look beautiful, but imagine you just don't have to get ready at all and you just walk out of the house like that.
Yeah,
so Trump
literally.
like
Oh
had
my
that
God.
realization. It was
Yeah.
interesting.
Like I mean, the amount of times where I've been trying to go somewhere with my wife and I'm just sitting around. I mean, everybody probably is in the same boat where you're just sitting around for fucking 2 hours, waiting for your wife to get ready, and you go, man, if you just toss a sheet on, we could leave right now.
Last question. I hate to be really broad with this, but whenever I ask my friends for like on entrepreneurship, like ideas about stuff, they all say like the same thing that, oh, if I knew, I would do it. You know, I've been doing a little bit of Turo here and there. E-commerce
how's that work?
Do you have any like Turo? To be honest with you, it's less than half an hour to an hour of work a day, and it's pretty profitable. It's doing well, actually. You know, I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it to do well.
Just your own. You just have a car that you just rent out.
A couple cars that like like a couple cars. I use some of the family cars as well. We leased out. We got a good deal on Ionic for $110 a month lease. Yeah. But then if you Turo, 2 days you pay off the lease for a couple days.
That's pretty good. I mean, there's no Turo. I don't know where you live, but there's no Turo in New York City. You can't. I rented one car. Yeah, I rented one car once on there, but I think they got rid of it. Now the only place you can get it is in New Jersey. But I don't know the explanation for it. But I thought it was a fairly decent experience.
You think right now, just look at the times, people are saying like, oh, maybe Bitcoin is, obviously people are hyped up about that, but whatever right now is, obviously the 2000s, the computer industry was to get into, but just think about what right now is optimal, like just kind of just scope around.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're doing something,
stations.
Yeah, if you're doing something that's working, I would say do more of that. Like if you you figured out a thing where you go, yeah, I make money renting out these cars.
Get more cars, get like a fleet.
I guess, and if you can get them on if you can get them on a lease where you're like not on the hook, you know, it's like a 3-year lease, and you're like, I'm only on the hook for these 3 years, I guess. I don't know how the mileage and stuff works on.
Danny, I really appreciate this. I'm on my campus, South of Long Beach. First, I have a presentation in 1.5 hours. I haven't prepared for it, but I wanted to get a hold of you.
Cool,
really
man.
Appreciate
Go do your
it.
thing. Later, man.
Thank you so much.
All right, that was Danish. All right. What happened? I just saw like 4 calls pop up, but I don't see them. All right, let's go to Slav. Let's see what old Slavy's up to. Yo!
Hey, what's going on?
How's it going? We missed you this weekend, Slav.
Yeah, dude, I wanted to go. I mean, if it's gonna be in New Orleans next year, I'm definitely going because I'm gonna be going more for like New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans is sick, man. Sick town.
I mean, I would have never gone. I don't think I'd have ever gone to Las Vegas in my lifetime just because I really don't care for gambling.
Yeah.
But Skankfest was a nice excuse.
Yeah, it's a fun time. It's a good hang.
And I've been to New Orleans, and I've been to New Orleans in high school, but that's high school. Like I couldn't do
the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never been to New Orleans before. I liked it. Good food city.
But yeah, dude, everyone says Katrina killed it. Like,
yeah, I never saw it before, so it was. I mean, it seemed pretty fucking lively. I can't tell you what it was like before. Go watch old episodes of Cops.
Yeah. When they do Mardi Gras.
Oh,
and people were like, "Yeah, that's exactly how it was."
Right. And it's yeah. So it was like we went on Bourbon Street a little bit. We went like French Quarter and stuff. It was cool. I don't know. I liked it. A lot of good food there.
Yeah. So how does it feel being double retarded, especially with the immigration?
What do you mean?
You didn't believe me when I told you this stuff like a year ago.
Well, I just didn't.
There's no way it could be.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know. Did I say that there's no way it could be 50 million? I thought it was. I don't think I ever believed that it was just 20 million. That always seemed low to me. But I'm saying, like, based on this thing out of Charlotte, you're like, it might be like 100 million, which 100 million is a bit shocking. I don't know if you ever said 100 million, but that is a bit, and Pablo saying just from his experience living in California, 100. The thing with 100 million is, you can't even undo that. Like, how do you possibly?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
you can.
How?
Yeah, you can.
Why don't you go sign up for ICE? I don't get this, Slav. This seems like you know, they have all these commercials, join ICE, fucking have fun with the boys, deporting people. You're an American citizen. Why don't you go join ICE?
Oh, what is that? I went on the website. There's like it's literally no
you did go
things
check
in my area.
You'd have to
And
relocate.
plus, I haven't got. And what is it? Their report line doesn't even fucking work.
Oh, really? The snitch line, the ICE snitch line is not working?
That hasn't worked over here. And I haven't heard of a single person getting paid a reward.
No, there was never a reward.
Dude,
That was a
fucking
rumor.
The DHS, honestly, dude, this like their whole like social media. I'm like, yeah, that's cool for like 1-2 times. Like y'all motherfuckers need to be. They need to stop. They need to be heartless. There's too much humanity in these. Like they need to like like I don't care how like motherfuckers will call me a bootlicker, and I'm like, motherfucker, you can't even get a job. Because here's the thing, it's with the Indians as well. We need to end. We need. Repeat, yeah, like Goob said, repeal the heart seller.
I don't know. Did you see the CEO of Ford? The CEO of Ford last week said that he's like, we have 5,000 mechanic positions open. They all pay over $100K a year, and he's like, I can't staff them because they just don't. They just don't have the people who can do it.
That's a fucking lie. That is.
You don't buy it.
That's a fucking lie. I don't buy any of this shit. Also don't buy any job growth numbers because those are all H-1Bs. Like this whole thing of Americans don't know shit. Go on the website. It's a national website. You just type in list of H-1B jobs in America, and it'll show you the listing of every single one by company and for for the yearly pay and what the position is. I'm sorry, it must be such a foreign concept that the American doesn't understand what working a cash register is.
Sure. I mean, yeah, H-1Bs for jobs like that is insane. I mean, they're doing the exact same thing in Canada with permanent residents and stuff, or was it the temporary foreign workers?
The schools in Canada, I read about how they abuse the school, the student visas.
Yeah, they're just fake. They made fake colleges.
It's a fake college. They pay $3,000 for 1 year with tuition, and they go to like one class. That's it.
Yeah. They're completely fake colleges, and and they pay like $10,000 to get into them, and then you pay somebody like $10,000 to get you in and handle it all, and then at the end of it, you're just a permanent resident. The funny thing is, or depending, not funny if you're these people, but the Canadian government is like, yeah, we're not renewing any of these visas. So
they need to. What is it? They just need to just like. There needs to just be an entire stop on all new immigration. No new immigrants. No the only ones that can be allowed are indigenous Europeans. Like someone that's
they did the thing with the South Africans.
And
remember?
Indigenous. Yeah, and then they're allowed to. Yeah, and those from.
I mean, the thing is, you guys could get
visa.
fucking. You guys could America could probably get legitimately like 10 million white Canadians if they opened it up for them.
No, and that's the other thing. I'm sick of all these people saying, "Oh, we just want to come for opportunity." It's like, no, you like it here. You like what we have. Be like that pedophile Gandhi. Be the change you want to see in the world, in your own part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these motherfuckers feel like we just want. It's like they say, "Oh, they just want to come for." Oh shit, my bad.
Is that a woman?
Visit. They're like, "Oh, they just want." Oh, I got Skank playing in the back.
Oh, okay. Not a woman.
What is it? That was Kim. I think that was Kim or Alan.
There was a voice of a woman. I thought there was a woman in your home.
I want to be young like this.
Fair enough.
And it's a Tuesday, but what is it with the? It's like just stop all immigration, and also be that change. So it's like I don't like if all the white Canadians came to America, what's gonna happen with what's left of Canada?
With what's gonna happen with Canada? What do you care?
No, but But that's the thing.
I mean, if that happened, the economy would get depressed.
Yeah, and then what? they're all going to spill into here.
They're
going to turn Canada into...
Yeah, I guess there is a case to be made that if Canada got so bad, then people would start kind of sneaking in.
The third worlder...
It's not easy, though.
The third worlder, the shitholer, is a cancer. Wherever they go, they believe in magical soil.
I disagree.
And
I mean,
I
understand what you're saying.
England.
Yeah.
England and Canada are being polluted with just litter, just like it is in India. That is already the most open in public sign.
Yeah.
That wherever they go, they turn it. I don't care. They are incapable of assimilation. I don't care.
That's not true because that's the thing is it's more like the new breed, and I don't have an explanation for this because I talked to first generation Indians, friends of mine in Canada, they weren't like that.
They're not the same.
Like my friends when I was a kid who were Indian, they weren't like that.
Yeah,
it is a new phenomenon.
Same with me when I was growing up. But guess what? Too bad. They're getting lumped in. You know why? Because they don't condemn their own. And the very few that do ain't enough. They won't call out their own.
I mean, calling out your own. I see Indians all the time who are calling out this kind of new, especially in Canada. I'll see it where they do, but you're like, what does that do? It doesn't do anything.
It does nothing.
They don't listen.
And then on top of that, people are like, oh, we Indians, we're so highly educated. Oh, look at all this IT stuff. People have started doing business forensics.
Yeah.
On India. 60% of their accredited institutions have no physical existence.
Really?
Yeah, it's just at most it's like a small office.
Yeah.
That literally just stamps papers all day.
Yeah. I mean, look, but the thing is if you're going to go get a job at one of those Mag 7 tech companies and, they obviously, when they hire you, there is some sort of proficiency testing. Yeah, but there is some proficiency testing. I know that it's another whatever Indian or Chinese guy or whatever, but you still have to, you can't just kind of coast in there and not be able to do the actual job. I can't imagine you.
That's what they did at my job. That's what they.
But you were working as a computer scientist.
Yeah, geographer.
Yeah, you could probably coast on geographer. I don't even know what that is.
Since I don't work there anymore, and I'm probably never going to get hired by them again anyway for a contract. I worked at Apple.
You worked at Apple? You were a geographer at Apple?
But I was...
what does a geographer even do? I don't understand. Tell me.
Have you ever heard of Google Maps?
Oh, okay. So you were doing the Apple Maps? That's why Apple Maps is so shit, because you were working there. Apple Maps sucks.
No, it's actually improved a lot. But dude, nobody uses everyone. Even people at Apple use Google Maps.
Yeah, because way better. My wife uses Apple Maps, and every time she'll hand me her phone, I go, "What is this?"
Yeah, no, I mean it's just more since more people use it, there's more data.
Yeah,
and there's more feedback. That's just. I mean, Apple has gotten way better, but also one of the things that we do have is we use how people say your phone's always on.
Yeah.
It's always showing your location, even if it's turned off or completely turned off. Yeah, we use that. It's called probe data. We can see every single iPhone in any area. God damn it. Why is shit?
Why do I gotta listen to Kim Condon right now? Yeah, go ahead. I love Kim.
It's just the screen shuts off. No, so basically we could see every single phone and it shows direction and by speed, depending if you're walking, cycling, or in a car. And on most of these illegals, they're probably using Androids, and that's Google data, so they know.
Right, so Google knows. But wouldn't the provider know? I was thinking of more of from not even the device, but just AT&T, T-Mobile. Isn't your phone constantly pinging a tower? It just constantly does that. So wouldn't they know? They have to know.
I mean, it depends. It also depends if they're using a 4G or 5G.
Right.
Because they're not using. Maybe they're not using instead of using Verizon, the Verizon or T-Mobile service. They're using like WhatsApp or Signal. So,
anyways, they have to
But
be
yeah,
able to
no,
get
I mean,
a rough count. I feel like that, but that is so funny that you worked at Apple. I would have never guessed.
Yeah, but it was all Indian. And I went by the campus like 2 weeks ago, and I was just like, let me swing by and see. It is all Indians now. It is. When I started working there were barely any, but there was the only people who were Indian was like the people who gave me my contract.
Oh, okay.
And then year by
who
year.
replaced? Do you know who
more
replaced you?
and more. Some motherfucker that doesn't belong here. Well, I am one of those they took my job. I am a they took my job motherfucker.
Yeah, you are.
And now in construction, a lot of construction jobs, they ask like, do you speak Spanish? And I'm like, dude, we're in America. And they're like, yeah, I get it, bud. And so it sucks. Like you can go, as they tell kids, yeah, learn the code, do this, do that, go to college. Yeah, great. You're not getting a job. There are more H-1Bs approved every year than college graduates for entry-level positions.
Is that
and
true?
And then they're like, oh, go into the trade. Yeah. So Trump is like, Trump just approved 600,000 of these fucking Chinese motherfuckers.
Chinese. Yeah. That I'm curious if that's some sort
And then
of,
they're all,
of
they're all
negotiating
spies,
tactic,
right?
though. What's that? They're all spies. Yeah.
You know they're all spies.
I know. But
And
the Trump thing with the
I
600,000, I wonder if that's some sort of trade negotiation tactic where, he can get 600,000 of them as some
Trump,
sort of concession to the Chinese.
This nigga Trump ain't do shit.
Yeah.
And all he did, honestly, is close the border. But
that's something.
There's too much humanity.
I mean, you can't tell me you're hating them doing these ice raids everywhere. At least they're doing something.
Barely. Dude, they only did in Charlotte, they only nabbed 130 in a single day. No, motherfucker, you need to be filling buses by the hour.
But they're not. How do you find these people?
Start incentivizing self-deportation.
See, the thing is the problem is you live in a country. Your family dragged you to a country that has due process.
No.
If you still lived in Russia, that is what they would do. They would just be like, yeah, we don't give a shit who's who. We're just rounding them up.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're not illegal, you wouldn't have a problem. You shouldn't worry. And all these people who get arrested by ICE, they're like, oh, ICE is nabbing people who are illegal. It's like, no, those are people who are getting in the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could make a case where you go, if you were a true patriot, you would understand. Like if you were a real patriot, you'd be like, you would understand. Yeah.
That word patriot has been hijacked by all these pro-Israel fucking Jews. I hate especially Levin. But basically, when you keep asking incentivize self-deportation, literally lethal force. Because these third world shitholers, maybe, yes, they are lower IQ. Yes, they are retarded. But they have the wherewithal of self-preservation. And they know that, oh, I won't be put in a detention facility. They'll just blow my brains out on the street.
Right. Because, I mean, right now the penalty is the greatest penalty for anybody who's here illegally is just getting sent back. You go like just going to where you're back, where you're from. You go, I'm willing to deal with anything to just not get sent back to where I'm from because it's so much. It's still so much worse than whatever they have to deal with.
If they can't speak, if they could barely speak English and they can't provide a social security card. Or it shouldn't be difficult to provide immigration paperwork if you've done it, if you have it properly sorted out.
Yeah.
And if they don't, put them in a giant concentration camp, load them up onto cargo ships, and just send them. I don't care where. Send them to fucking Africa for all I care.
Isn't that where they're sending that Mahmoud Khalil dude?
Maryland guy?
Oh no, the Maryland guy. Yeah. Did they send him to like Angola or not Angola? They sent him somewhere.
They sent him at Swatini. They were supposed to send him to Sudan, but they got shit popping off there right now.
Yeah, so they just sent him to some random African country. Yeah, I mean,
I was going to call in actually about Mexico, but you seen They're spray painting Yuda. What is it? Puta Yudia.
Yeah, Puta Yudia for the Mexican shine bomb for the president. Yeah, they don't like her. Even though she's like fucking, she's like so pro-Palestinian. She hates Israel. Still don't like her.
Yeah, I don't believe. Yeah, that seems like a fucking cover.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, nothing's gonna happen to her. Everyone in Mexico is saying, we're gonna find her, we're gonna drag her out to the street, rip her clothes off, rape her, cut her skin her alive, and all this shit. I'm like, this bitch is gonna run off to Israel. She'll be fine.
I don't even think she's gonna run off to Israel. She's gonna finish her tour. I mean, I thought she won in like I don't think she won by like a small margin in the election. I thought she won pretty handily. So
yeah, she assassinated 30 of her opponents.
Hey, game's the game, man. All right, I gotta let you go, Slav. Good talking to you, Slav. Everybody. All right, we'll take a few more callers here. My voice is all fucked up right now. Dylan Farnham says, as a mechanic, working for Ford is not something you want to do. Only low-level techs work in open garages. Drue.
What's up, Danny?
Yo, what's up, dog?
Can you hear me, dog?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hell yeah, dude. Sorry, almost home. Just drunk driving home.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I got a question though about all this Muslim talk. What do Muslims think about Connor dog?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know what Muslims.
Pretty sure he's haram.
Yeah, I thought Muslims. Yeah. Dogs are haram, right? They're like dirty.
Yeah, so down with Muslims.
Yeah, anybody who doesn't like dogs
Goob said, train your dogs to attack Muslims and trannies. There you go.
You're putting words in Goob's mouth.
That's the out.
Yeah, anybody who doesn't, any religion that doesn't like dogs you lost me. You lost me.
That's pretty sus, dude.
Yeah, that's
right. Like you don't like a little Connor baby?
Yeah, what's not to like about a fucking dog, man?
The fuck?
Yeah, and they're only dirty if you let them be dirty.
How is Slav going to talk about immigrants too? What the fuck?
Well,
you don't even belong here, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's closing the door behind him. That's what they do. Is they get in here and they go with their fucking thick Russian accents and they go, we got to get rid of them all. And you go, I mean, I'm sure some people will be like, yeah, Slav's got to go. They go, yeah, you don't cut it. We don't care how fucking how much you're against this shit. They go, you got to go.
Yeah, he's pretty third on the list.
Yeah, I mean, like once they get rid of everybody, they get rid of everybody who's here illegally, Slav's next for sure. Me and Slav, we both got to go.
I don't even know if he's here legally. Has anybody asked him that?
I mean, he says he is. I mean, if Slav is in the United States illegally, that would be fucking crazy for all the shit he said, where he's like not even legal. No, I think he's here legally. That would be my guess.
Well, did he get here on an H-1B?
Did he get? No, I imagine his parents fucking came on when Russia was fucking emptying out, and they just came to America. Maybe some cold.
Dad definitely came.
Some Cold War shit or whatever. I don't know, but something like that. But yeah, that would be great if he actually was illegal. But I don't think he is. I think he's one of the good ones. You know. Anything else there, Drue?
No, not really, dude.
All right. Well, it was good talking to you, man. Drue.
Yeah, buddy. Later.
Later, man. Dylan also says they have a map of all MAC addresses using DDNS. When any iPhone comes in contact with Bluetooth or wireless routers, it was hacked about a year ago. So there you go. I mean, we can figure this out. We know that if the will was there, they could figure it out. The likelihood is they don't want to know the answer, which would make the most sense. Is they go, we don't want to know. People would be so fucking mad if they found out how many illegals are actually in this country and how bad they fucked up. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail.
Hey, Danny.
What's happening? Who am I speaking with?
Will. Out here in rural Oregon.
Will in rural Oregon. What's up?
I had wanted to talk to you about, I do have a theory of why it is the Jew.
Yes.
You know, people always talk about it's the Jew, it's the Jew. Okay, we've accepted it's the Jew.
Yeah.
Why is it the Jew?
Why?
Yeah. But I got to button that one up. But the thing about that is, I think I can swing it around and blame it on women.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it. I like a good theory.
Well, no, I got to button that one up. And I actually am going to talk to you about what you think is going to happen with NYC, because I've been trying to rack it in my brain. I can't see this shit working out.
With Mamdani, you're saying?
With Mamdani, and also the immigration issue, which is Trump's just giving lip service. They're going to do some raids.
Yeah,
but
they're definitely going to do some raids. It's going to be a massive shit show here. I mean, people are for sure going to move. Ryan was saying he was talking to somebody who they're moving from New York City because of Mamdani. I don't know if enough people will move where it'll make because people come and go from New York City all the time. But that Mamdani is going to make this I know it's already a sanctuary city. He's going to make it even more of a sanctuary city as a kind of middle finger to Trump. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. No, actually, I think the only way I think they're going to get his somehow they're going to float his program. So I think the only way I can think of they're going to, because honestly, these are services that could probably be worked out in a way anyway. Free bus. I mean, yeah, the bus should be free, but we know we can't do that because of people.
It costs it's going to cost them $700 million a year apparently to do it. That money has to come from somewhere. I do believe in the 80s or the 70s, New York City went bankrupt, I believe. So, I think a city has to have a balanced budget. My conspiracy
theory mind thinks they're going to make it work, but I just can't see it working out.
Yeah, though. I mean, again, you take it from somewhere else. It's he's saying that he's going to be some cost cutting guy, and there's all these contracts $10 billion a year, and that they pay contractors, and essentially he's trying to doge it a little bit, where he's going to try and come up with some money, I guess streamline things, make things a little more efficient, come up with some money. Seems like a pretty tall task for somebody who's never had a job, but
I mean, I'm not New York or anything, but you're driving out the people with money. You're going to create more poverty.
Yeah.
You're still bringing in immigrants.
I mean, it's
the only way I can see it is collapsing into a complete shithole, which is by design. I mean, this whole immigration, they're bringing it in to bring in the technocratic state, the surveillance state. Hey, we'll kick out some of the immigrants using all this technology, then we'll just apply it to the citizens.
Yeah, I mean, New York City still has the most millionaires out of any city in the world. I can't imagine that they're gonna be gleeful about this city just getting destroyed. But I guess it's possible that a lot of them do leave. I'm still skeptical about that whole thing where people are yeah, we're all leaving. People are New Yorkers, especially the rich ones.
No, that's too much effort and energy, and people don't want to put that out.
And they're just yeah, I'm so rich anyways. Yeah, I guess if you're going to tax me, you get taxed out the ass to live here. So if they're if you're going to tax me a little more, I like New York, I'm going to stay here. Obviously, if it becomes noticeably dangerous or really starting to get run down, but I don't know. People have this real affinity to this city. I'm not one of those people.
I mean,
but
it blows my mind when your option of fleeing New York City is going to New Jersey.
Yeah. Although, hey, I lived in Hoboken for 2 months. It wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. But you're essentially in New York at that point. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can go to fucking Connecticut. Connecticut's nice. A lot of space there. You can go to Connecticut. A lot of people live in Connecticut. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I can't, this is one I can't really predict with Mamdani. My inclination is he's not going to just completely destroy the fucking city in 4 years. A lot of people are saying he is, but a lot of people I feel get emotional and hyperbolic about this stuff. And they're yeah, the city's dead. And I'm I don't know. I doubt that'll happen. People still want to come, it's still a big tourist city. So there's tons of money. People all over the world still want to visit New York, which is.
Well, there's too much old money there too.
Tons of old money. And tons of tourism, which puts a lot of money in the coffers of the city. It's, I guess the question is can Mamdani even do that much? He needs a lot of help to do it. He can't just unilaterally decide to do all the shit. He needs to raise taxes. The state has to give him that power. So,
right.
Yeah. Well,
I guess only time will tell. We'll see what madness comes our way.
And if it gets really bad, I'm fucking out of here. All right. Good talking to you, man.
Have a good one.
Later. All right. We can take a couple more calls and then wrap this up. I got to piss really badly, as always. Well, I didn't get my break. That's why. I didn't get my break. 2 more calls. Thank you for joining me, everybody, today. Zoran the Moron, as Michael Rappaport calls him. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Hello.
Danny, how you doing, bud?
Yo, what's up?
Hello.
Who am I speaking with?
How you doing? Hey, man, I'm August from Georgia.
August from Georgia. What's going on? August from Georgia?
First time, long time.
Excellent. I love a first-time caller. If you're thinking
Love
if you're on the fence,
the Boys Cast.
If you're on the fence about calling in, I recommend call in. Even if you're nervous, it's a good
I
time.
love the Boys Cast.
Thank you.
I listen to both your other shows regularly.
Excellent. Good to hear.
I guess I want to talk about immigration a little bit.
Yeah. What's it like where you live?
So I grew up here. I lived here 46 out of 48 years.
Okay.
And I guess my wife's a teacher, and her school currently is probably 70% non-white.
Okay. Do you know their status, immigration status?
No, I don't, and it's not really that important. But I go to an event, and it's like, all right, cool. It's like,
yeah. Well, I mean, it is. You're a taxpayer. Like, I can't imagine you just, like the Charlotte numbers is it costs $13,000 a year per student. If it's a massive percentage, you're paying for it,
right? But so like just the changes over my years, the high school I went to was probably like 95% Caucasian.
Yeah.
And then, here we are, 20 something years later, and it switched a lot.
Yeah, which is I think everywhere. Like, I mean, when I went to my high school, which would have been in the 90s in Burlington, Ontario, it was we had 1,600 kids, and it was maybe like 20 of them weren't white. Probably, I would say maybe 30. It was pretty
right.
It was pretty low. But I don't know what it looks like now. But I'm going on my high school's website right now to see, and yeah, it's. I mean, I'm looking at their video on the website. That's like the landing page, and looks a lot different than what I remember. Let's just say that.
Yeah. You know what? And I still love my neighbors. To be honest, the majority of my best friends have not been a white American guy. I've had like a Korean, black guy from England.
Mm-hmm.
But
guy from England.
But yeah, the demographic changes have definitely changed. It seems like somewhat challenging the school system when they have to incorporate these kids and like they don't.
Yeah, and some like the people who are in favor of this would essentially say like that's how it's kind of this is what it's like everywhere, and this is what living in I guess a country, I don't know how to describe it, but you're like, yeah, it's like if you live in a country where people want to immigrate to, they would say this is how people felt about the Irish and the Italians like 100 years ago in America. They're like, they would say people were saying the same thing. Where you're like, yeah, there's a lot of Irish and Italian people now. Now the only difference is just like instead of white people with funny accents, it's brown people with funny accents. But this is kind of always what was going to happen, I suppose. I'm not saying that's good nor bad, but I'm just saying that's maybe what they say.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it happens, but I guess it's just like I said. I love people from all different races.
Yeah. I mean,
origins.
Sure. Yeah, I have many friends who are not.
But it's like it kind of slows down the progress of the school itself when like.
Well, when they can't speak English, that's
the
one thing.
teacher and the students don't speak the same language.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of crazy when like because do you do classes in Spanish at that point, or I assume it's mostly Spanish. Like I don't because that's the thing. It must be only Spanish. I don't think anybody. If you come here from like Mexico or not Mexico, sorry, from India or Africa or something, like you probably have to speak English for them to let you in, or you're doing some kind of ESL stuff to get you up to speed pretty quickly. Would be my guess.
If you live in the school district, they'll let you in.
Yeah.
So if you moved in today or yesterday, you're allowed in, and that's great. That's a beautiful thing about America. I love that.
Yeah.
But
as long as they can figure out a way to.
But yeah, standards have changed.
Yeah, which that's not a good thing. I don't think lowering standards is beneficial. Just to kind of fold everybody into the system. You're like, you still need some standards, I would think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
hey,
70%.
I'm a loving, accepting guy.
Yeah,
I'm a loving, accepting guy. I love diversity, so like that's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want us to like lose English as our core language, or like have lower test standards.
Yeah, which is pretty reasonable. I think that's like a pretty reasonable take. They're like, and again, you can only bring in like again, and I can't speak to where your wife works or whatever, but you can't just bring in a infinity amount of people at once. Like, there's probably a number where they go, yeah, we can, like, if you have a class of 30 people, we can deal with one kid who doesn't speak English very well, and, we can work with them. But if a third of the class doesn't speak English, the teacher's probably like, I don't even know what to do here. Like, I can't handle this on my own. Like, they didn't set up the school for this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But, yeah, so like, yeah, I don't have any solution, and I don't even have a big gripe, but I know it's kind of like one of the topics tonight. And I was like, hey,
yeah, I mean, it seems like this is a topic. It seems like this is a topic in a lot of countries right now. Like, I don't really remember the immigration debate anywhere being an issue. Like, I don't remember when I lived in Canada, there was not a debate about immigration at all. It was just like, yeah, we are a country of like where like a lot of people are immigrants and they come here, but they just weren't coming in any sort of like massive quantities where anybody had an issue with it. They're like, yeah, we're very accepting. They're like, yeah, there's immigrants, and it'll take them some time to kind of assimilate, but they will assimilate, and it's set up so that they can. And now it just seems much more difficult. So, all right, I gotta let you go though, August.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in. It was good talking to you. August, everybody. All right, I'm going to close the phone lines. Phone lines are now closed, everybody. We have 3 more calls. And then I'm going to see some of you want me to go piss in a jug. I'm not going to do that. I'm better than that. I'm kind of losing my voice. I don't know if I'm yelling all weekend. Hello. You're on low.
Hey, Danny. How you doing?
What's happening? Who am I speaking with?
Hey, it's Brookings from the chat, brother.
Brookings Brown. What's up, man?
Hey, I'm not going to take too much of your time, so you can go pee and everything.
Thank you.
Good. But I'm going to call in. Are you doing a show next week?
Yeah, I'll be doing a show Monday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to call in and tell you all about the crime in Minnesota with the Somalians and.
I mean, I've heard. I mean, I have time right now. You can just tell me right now.
Oh, you don't, brother. No, I've been waiting on hold for an hour. I got to go help my son with his homework. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were on hold for that long. Okay, yeah, call in next week.
No. Yeah, you're good. And then the other thing is, if Trent's out there, call in, pussy. We miss you. We got to hear.
I wonder what happened to Trent.
All right, Danny. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, later, man. I wonder what happened to Trent. We'll never know what happened to Trent. That'd be hilarious if this was Trent. Phone lines are closed. Stop calling in. All right, we got 2 more calls. Thank you for joining us. Drew Huntley says, Danny, do you believe Africa is real? I totally believe Africa is real. I'd love to go to Africa one day. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. penultimate caller of the
Hey,
night.
Danny.
What's happening?
It's Will the lawyer. It's been a minute.
Will the lawyer, how you doing?
I'm doing well, my friend. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain. I feel like I'm losing my voice, though. I don't know what happened. I think I was yelling too much.
That's not good.
Weekend. I think I was yelling too much all weekend at Skankfest. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, they'll do it. And Hanukkah's not here, so it's not all the chocolate coins you've been eating.
No, it's not the chocolate coins. When is Hanukkah this year, actually? That's a good question. It changes
That'll
every
be coming
year.
up soon.
December 14th to Monday, December 22nd. All right.
Less than a month.
Good to know. Yeah, we're about a month out from Hanukkah. So what's up, man?
Not much, talking about all the H-1B, an interesting fact that I learned
Yep.
is, and I missed the beginning of the show, so maybe someone talked about this already. If people are, if certain companies are H-1B dependent, they call it, and it's based on if they have a certain percentage, like 15 to 25%, depending on how large they are, of H-1B workers, or if they're trying to get a perm registration, which is getting like a green card for a permanent worker.
Yeah.
They have extra requirements where they need to publicly post their jobs.
Yeah, I know.
And
I've
they
seen
can't
that.
get a H-1B approved if anyone in the country applies.
Right. Yeah, but I've seen that thing
Who's reasonably qualified.
Who's reasonably qualified? Because you have to post it. Like I've seen some, but don't people like get around that? They'll post it and then they just reject everybody who applies. Essentially, just saying it's.
Yeah. So that's what I've heard about, but I haven't seen is people are going on X, and because what they'll do is they'll put like one of those Ford mechanic jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They would post it in IT Quarterly or something.
Mm-hmm.
Internet Science Quarterly. No mechanics are going to be reading that probably.
Right.
So people are going around and finding these public postings and being like, call, apply, send your resume.
Yeah,
and then
they just post
even
them
if
where
you
they
don't
know
want it,
nobody
they're
will,
like, what the hell?
Yeah, where they just know nobody will find them essentially. Because I know they were doing with the temporary foreign workers in Canada, they would do that where they would just post these job boards, similar thing, but it would be for jobs where it would be like working at a Tim Hortons, and you're like, what do you need? You can't find somebody in Canada who would work at a Tim Hortons, it's impossible.
No, it's crazy. And I'm not all out against H-1Bs.
No, I mean that's
my
the
law
thing.
firm. We have a good 70 attorneys. We have one on an H-1B. He's a good guy. Whatever.
Yeah.
But there's definitely people abuse it.
Yeah, for sure, it definitely gets abused. Just to say that it's bad, wholesale, is I think short-sighted, especially with the tech stuff, because there is, people are, you look at India and you're like, there's so many Indians, but if you look at it from a percentage of people in India, you're like, if there's 1.6 billion people, if you get their top 0.01% of people, which you'd think all those people would be very good. You're like, if you are the top most 0.01% of Indians, you're like, yeah, you probably think those are really the smartest people in India. And you're like, but that's a lot of people just because they have 1.6
That's what, 160,000 still?
or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But you're like, that's a lot of people. And you're like, yeah, but those people compared to the top 0.01% of Americans, yeah, they probably are more qualified and they might be better. And there's benefits for hiring H-1Bs because you're like, they're essentially indentured slaves. They can't jump around jobs. They have to stay with you. They can work them harder. And I guess if you're an American, you say that is good. You're like, yeah, I want some guy who has to work way harder. But
if you're a business owner, like my clients are, that's great for them.
Exactly. Yeah,
they love that. A lot of them, but again, it kind of depends on your industry too and what you're doing, because if you need a lot of lower skills workers and they're kind of interchangeable anyways, it's not worth the rigmarole of importing someone.
Right.
Any guy with half a high school diploma could do the work.
Yeah, yeah. That's and I'm sure that
varies.
stuff does happen where you see an H-1B job posting for some office manager, and you're like, why the fuck can you not find an American office manager? You need to import some guy.
Yeah, what's the qualification for an office manager? A liberal arts degree? There's millions of them unemployed in this country right now.
Exactly. So there's no question. They definitely need to fix the whole H-1B thing. But obviously there are some benefits of it. And, you know, all the tech companies are like, yeah, we definitely need these people. Like, you don't want them going to some, you know, for like tech, like you don't want them going to some competitor in China. Like that doesn't make America better off.
Yeah, but the tech companies are the ones mostly hiring the Indians, and they're the ones. I guess what I'm trying to say is importing them from India kind of keeps them off the calling me 18 times a day to try to get my Medicare number.
Right.
So there's that upside to it too.
That's something. I suppose that is something. Although I feel like with, you know, the AI stuff, like call centers are about to just be, it's about to go scorched earth on call centers. That shit is going to not exist in a year or two, I would imagine. Maybe 3.
My phone number used to be owned by like some like 80-year-old dude in downtown Chicago here.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating. Sometimes I get like 30 calls a day from India.
In the last month, I don't know if my phone number leaked or something, or there was someone sold it or whatever, but I started getting all these calls from, and I would pick them up and just to be like, why am I getting all these calls? And it would be like someone with the thickest. It is funny because I'm like, you talk to them and you're like, who falls for this shit? But it's, you pick up the phone, it's someone with the thickest Indian accent, and they're in like
his name is Dan Smith too.
Yeah. It's always like this super like Anglo name, and they're in a call center where you can hear like 500 people on the same call. Like, because they're like,
we're getting calls from the same call center, man.
Yeah. Well, there's probably a million of them, but like they're all on the same call. They're all yelling. It's like you can barely hear the guy. His name is just like, John Smith or Dan Malone or some shit. I'm like, who falls for this stuff? But I guess they just play a numbers game where they go, we call them a million people, and hopefully.
I've tried all different approaches. I've tried like leading them out and wasting their time. I've tried just telling them like, listen, I know this is a scam. How about you just don't call me? Don't waste your time on me anymore. I've tried just ignoring the calls for days at a time.
Yeah, ignoring doesn't work. Then they just keep calling you. Yeah.
Spam blockers don't work either. I had one that was kind of effective for a while, but I have to have my office phone forward to my cell because, you know,
right,
I have to be available if the client needs something on emergency. So
yeah, and then that doesn't work. Interesting.
Yeah, because it registers the office forwarding as a spam call. Like only like the most aggressive filter would block them, but it also blocks my office. And I couldn't get it to differentiate.
Yeah. So then you just can't do that. Yeah. Well, hopefully these spam calls. But again, there's so many people there where you're like, yeah, if they fucking hop on an H-1B coming to America, there's someone below them who wanted that job at the call center who'll just take that job, and then probably just never ends. All right. Anyways, I gotta let you go because I gotta wrap this up. But
yep.
Thanks for calling.
Go take a piss, Danny.
Good talking to you. All right. Stop calling. Someone keeps calling. Justin Falzone says, here's money. Thank you for your $2. Appreciate it. Good man. Sign up for the Patreon. Patreon.com/low value. Mail. Last call of the night. I think we're also going to Chicago. Hello. Hey, what's up?
This is Cole from Peoria.
Cole from Peoria. 2 Illinois callers in a row. What are the odds? You'd probably know because you are really smart. But what's up, Cole?
You want to talk about immigration or Venezuela?
Immigration, which I'm sure you could maybe tie into Venezuela.
Probably not.
No, that's fine.
I think, Chris, I think, mentioned all the Venezuelan porn, so that kind of gives a reference point.
Yeah.
I guess I would read Thomas Sowell's Migration and Cultures. Have you ever heard of 1984 Operation Blue Star that went down in India?
No. What is that?
Okay, well, so there was like a race war, some kind of culture clash in India where they bombed this temple, and then after that, everybody hated the Sikhs in 1984, and so there was a huge immigration wave that came to Canada, and so most of the Indians that were established in Canada were Sikhs from that period, and their children. So immigration's kind of fun because it's usually there's an established cast of people who have more or less gotten along with the culture, and then all of a sudden they're presented with these new people who haven't made their peace with the culture as yet, and
they have some old blood feud kind of thing.
The same thing happened with Jews in New York, because there were Jews here that were established for like a long time, and then you had like who had come up with the country, and then there were people coming in from like Eastern Europe, like during World War II period, and then it's like oh, these Jews can't even read,
right?
And so it just looks badly when you have these new ghettos forming, and there's all these people that you're just like, we don't know them, and then Haiti's just been a total fucking mess.
Yeah, but we're kind of tied in with them.
Oh, I would recommend reading Thomas Sowell. Anything to do with immigration is usually pretty weird.
Cool. What was the book called? I'll check it out. I have a few of his books. I don't have that one though.
Oh, Thomas Sowell, Migrations and Cultures, A Worldview. He kind of focuses on the Germans, the Japanese, and I guess for certain points on like immigration groups, the biggest thing they do is they start like businesses and enslave their children.
Oh, shit.
If you ever got a taste of that.
Hold on, we just lost video here. What just happened here? Hold on a second. I just kicked something and lost video. One moment, please. Sorry, give me a second. Of course. What the fuck? All right, well, Cole, I don't have any video right now for some reason.
No, I mean, that's fine. I can't see shit either.
No, well, all right. Well, there's no video. I don't know what just happened. I just pull it out of the camera.
All right. Well, I didn't have much. I was just bringing up Migrations and Cultures by Thomas Sowell. It's a good read.
Okay. Well, I'll check it out. I'm sorry about this, Cole, but we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right.
Have
Later,
a good
Cole.
night.
Hold on. Hold on. We don't have any video. I'm sure you can hear me though, but there's no video, and for some reason it's nope. Doesn't want to. Hold on. What the fuck? It's weird. Well, you can hear me, but you can't see me. But oh, there we go. We're back. All right. Well, that was fun. Aren't these tech issues always such a fun time? What a fun time we have here. Anyways, go check out that Thomas Sowell book, Migration and Cultures. That's been the show. What a way to end it, huh? We just go out on a bang. My foot gets caught on some cable, gets rid of the video, then won't recognize the camera anymore. I think I pulled the cable out of the camera, which is across the room, of course, so I have to get up and fix it. It's the shit we deal with on this show. It's again, like I say, it's not called High Value Mail. It's called Low Value Mail, and that has been your episode of Low Value Mail for this Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. We'll be back next Monday for an all-new episode. I'm going to have a good guest lined up for us. Otherwise, support the show, like the thing, follow the things, leave a comment, whatever you want. It's all good. Shout out to Gerard, our producer. Doing a great job. Give Gerard his flowers for dealing with all you lunatics. And I'm going to go pee now. That's been the show. Good night, everybody. See you soon.
I'm really a poet, you know it, all my shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep, blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurtin'. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5, got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenal. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. They was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. And they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. Now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. Ha. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. They was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. Then they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch.